Hello and welcome, everybody. Sorry for the delay today, man. I was burning the candle at both ends, everybody. I'm working so hard on so many awesome things coming for the stream. I felt better to get a little extra rest because I was up real late working on stuff than to be all tired the whole entire time. And that was a smart move. Now I feel much better. I'm ready to rock, ready to play some games, hang out with you guys, and man, do we got an action-packed stream today. We got so much stuff going on. We're first going to play, of course, some No Man's Sky. We're going to get into that. Of course, we're going to do some Stream Raiders on the side as well as we go through the day, try to get you guys a bunch of battles going on. Then later on, we're going to get back into some 76. I've been grinding some fusion cores, so you want to come join me later on around noon or so. We're going to go ahead and play 76 for a few hours, get back into it. Then we're going to play, of course, Overcooked. We're going to play the one that is all of it together, which is pretty cool. It's called All You Can Eat. And it's basically like Overcooked 1, Overcooked 2, and a bunch of bonus levels on top of that. Now, me and my kids absolutely love Overcooked because it's a 4-player thing. I have 3 daughters, so that's a perfect amount of players. So me and my daughters play it all the time. And sometimes we're like, all right, yeah, you get the pot. I'll throw you the fish, and you cut the thing, and then you go ahead and do the steaks, and then the other person's like, okay, I'll go ahead and run it in and whatnot. And we've actually done a lot. We've worked our way a lot through Overcooked 2 and got 3 stars on every single one as we went through. A lot of fun as a crew. And sometimes, you're like, hey, don't throw it over there. No, that's not where it goes. No, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then we all kind of switch up jobs and try to, play to our strengths kind of thing. I'm much better at, supplying them with what they need and then cutting my stuff up. And then they're much better at plating it and putting it on the plates. I actually had a really good suggestion from someone here in the chat. I'm sorry, I forgot who it was. But they said to bring the plate to the food and not the food to the plate, which actually makes a huge difference in the game. It really does help a lot when you bring the plate and you put it down where you got the food and it goes onto the plate instantly, and then you put all the stuff on there and boom, you turn it in. So very, very smart. We'll try all of that later on. Again, action-packed today. So let's say hello to everybody in the chat and then head on in because we got a busy day today. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff. I see some peeps were in here earlier when I was getting the stream up and running. I saw, looks like Sun Boys said hello earlier, and Harrow, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but thank you so much for hanging out in the chat, as well as you got Blue Chronos coming in. Good morning to the Teamwork Tycoons. Good morning to you. Thanks for hanging out. EMZRT coming in as well. Good morning to you. Rotisserie G, afternoon all. Always good to see you, Rotisserie G. I love the cool 25 months, you got the unicorn Norbert in there. Very nice. And you're also the current hype train conductor. So congrats to you being an awesome conductor here on my stream. I love all my conductors of the Kismet Love Train. They get on the Kismet Love Train, show love to other people here in the chat. So pretty cool. EMZRT says, how's everyone doing today? I'm doing good. I've been really working hard. I mean, candle at both ends, working late at night, getting up early, streaming and doing videos and doing all that stuff, and yet dealing with all the IRL stuff too, which is still going on. I still don't have a finished bathroom. I got to finish out around my shower. It is still not finished. It's like one of those projects that's dragged on the other. I'm about to go into the 5th month of trying to get that bathroom, just the shower, by the way, not the whole entire bathroom, just the shower replaced, because I had a tub and then a shower combo, and then I wanted to take the tub out and just put a shower in, right? Just put a more modern shower with glass doors and all that stuff in there for my wife. And it has just been an absolute nightmare to get anybody to follow up, to communicate about it. Okay, this is what we're doing. This is what's going to be done. This is when it's going to be done. This is when take. See, the biggest thing, and you do anything in life, everybody, it doesn't matter what you're doing, is communication, right? This is when we're going to do it. This is what it's going to do. This is how long it's going to take. Yada, yada, yada. That is the most important thing. You got to communicate with people. If you don't communicate well, it just makes it frustrating for everybody. Like me, I don't know when they're coming back. I don't know when they're going to get it done. I just sitting here going, okay, whatever. And then what I got to do now is I have to put more effort toward it and call them up and say, when you coming back, when you're going to get it done, blah, 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 right? I hate having to follow up on people that should be already following up on their own, especially when they're doing those doors, man. The peeps over at Lowe's, man, dropping the ball big time, big time. But hopefully it comes to an end soon because I am about over it. I'm about over it. I'm about to go in there and say, hey, I'm just gonna take care of the rest of this. I'm just gonna finish this off because I'm tired of waiting for you guys to do it. But then again, it's all about me, right? And then I got to go do all of that instead of doing all of this, right? So I got to take another day off or another week off of screwing around with that. There you go. Sounds like a nightmare. I know when my parents redid the bathroom in their house, it took about 5 to 6 weeks for the whole project. Yeah. You know how many weeks it's been? It's been 4, and then 4, that's 8, right? And you double that to 16. 16 weeks. 16 weeks. To replace a tub and a shower and put in shower doors. 16 weeks, everybody. Now, actually, we're going on to like 17th week now. Very, very annoying. But we're not all about that today. You know what we're all about? We're all about playing some games. We're going to get into it. Let's go. All right, now it's been a little while. Whoa, look at all those biddies coming in. Cool. It's been a little while. We're loading into No Man's Sky here. Man, I love No Man's Sky. They did such a fantastic job. Did you know that every single little ball of light that you see, that's systems of planets that you can go to. There's a quintillion of them. I think it's actually 13 quintillion systems of planets. Not just planets, but systems of planets that you can go to in this game. And that means that you could not actually explore every single system of planet in your real life lifetime. Even if you started at like 10 years old and went till you're 100, I seriously doubt you could get them all. Now, of course, you got a group together, maybe. You got a team of 100 peeps together, maybe, or 1,000, you might be able to get them all. But I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. I'd be some serious dedication every single day, all day, to get that going on. Make sure to also spend some time in IRL, everybody. Make sure to go out for some walks and enjoy your day as well. Oh, look out. We got a super loop going on. Exclamation jump, everybody, to get yourself some loot here. And this is where we left off in here. We are building out our main ship here. And you can see we're really expanding it on. Look how far it goes. It goes way back there, right? So we can go ahead and take out all of this and keep on expanding and expanding and expanding way out there. Let's see how much silver that we have. I think we'll start with that today. We'll go ahead and check our silver. I think I had a bunch. Yes, I got tons of silver in here. This is probably the main thing that I would love to see changed in this game is this. The scrolling down through this inventory thing. It's really obnoxious. It should just be off to the side over here. It should be off to the side over there, and then I could just click, and then get all the silver at one time as opposed to the thing. Now, I could go individually to the box and find it and get the thing like this, but that's also annoying to have to go in and do this every single time when you're trying to get that stuff out. I mean, in the beginning, fine, but as you go through the game, it becomes more and more tedious to have to scroll and scroll and scroll, and then you get one thing, and then you have to scroll all the way through it again and get another thing, and then scroll all the way through it again. Yeah, I feel like they should just put it off to the side there. Now, let's get into some No Man's Sky here in just a bit. We're going to go in and we're going to take all this out. We're going to take all that silver and we're going to start to expand our area. Show you how huge you can actually make your ship. By the way, it's also 6 levels high. So you can actually go up to another level, do the same thing, and again, and again, and again. So it's really a lot of space, but there's not really that much to do with the space other than a little bit of what we're going to do today. We're going to also check in on our $500 million that we are collecting. We're going to jump around and do all of that. But before we do that, let me not forget to get our battles going. So let's do it. To battle! All right, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to go ahead and start our battle right here. So you guys can go ahead and join me. You can follow that link in the chat. If you have not already added me as a captain, you can find me, Kismet, Kismet, give you access to the battle board. And you can come and join us. Let's go ahead and check our quest today. Let's see what we got. We got Counter Sniper, kill 3 ranged units, and we're doing our Templars right now. Still trying to work to get that 10 units at level 30. We're doing pretty good on that. We are at 6 units. We're very close on our Archer, 108 of 150, and we're going to try to get the rest of these up there. I feel like if we went Rogue and Warrior, that would probably be pretty quick. And then maybe Flag Bearer. Even though these are pretty higher level than these right now, it's really depending on when you get your scrolls, right? When you go into the store here, and depending on how many scrolls, you can see I've already got mine scrolls for today. Depending on what you get in here, and then also how often you can place your unit is how quickly you can get those done. That's why I have 2 regular tanks that are just a regular unit, right? They're not epic or legendary or anything like that. You can put those down again and again and again and again and again. Thus, those level up faster because you're getting more scrolls every time you put them down. Legendary units do not get a scroll when you put those down. So these actually do not progress unless you're doing events and stuff like that. That's why we do a lot of events up here. Try to get that going on for you. But let's go ahead and put our Grand Templar down, and we're going to kick some booty today. Let's get right up into business right here. There we go. Now, those take a long time to cool down. It'll be a while before those are cooled down, and then we'll do that one again. But I definitely want to finish my Archer, and then we're going to work on some of our other basic units and just try to put those down as many battles as we can. And then we get those down, and then bam, we got that 10 of them unlocked. And then we'll work on the next one, which is 15. 15 at 30. That's a big long-term goal there. We'll get into it. So come and join us for some battles. Let's go. I saw all the peeps went berserk down there. They went berserker mode. Nice berserker mode there, MZRT. Now, again, if you do have a comment or question for me, my name is Kismet. You can put Kiz or Kismet in the chat. It'll highlight in red. I know you guys are talking directly to me. You don't have to use the @ You can just type Kismet, and that's good enough. Now, the thing about No Man's Sky, it's been a while, so I have to, like, relearn the keys and stuff. Because we've been busy trying out some other stuff. There's so many awesome updates. Of course, you got expeditions. No Man's Sky has been putting everybody to shame with just absolutely crushing their updates. Just been doing an amazing job bringing out awesome features for the game. Now, as you can see here, this works on kind of a negative build. Normally, when you're building stuff, you put down a floor, and then you put down walls, and you build the thing. Well, in this case, it's already filled in. And what you're doing is you're putting in a room, and that room is taking the previous space out and then opening it up in this case. Or you can make hallways, you can make curved areas, whatever you want to do. Me, I like to have big open areas. So what I've done previously is we do have a silver farm that's being collected. And I'm going to use this silver to kind of widen out our overall look here, our overall ship, and then we're going to use this for expanding our quests and stuff like that, as well as to farm a bunch of materials. Because the cool thing about your particular freighter here is that it automatically supplies power. You don't have to run power to things here on your main ship, and so we can just keep adding and expanding all the way over. Look at it. I'm still going. Still going. It really tells you that this ship is absolutely huge, right? Now, what it also takes is it takes tritium. And you can see that I ran out of tritium there. And that's usually the limiting factor in everything that you do. But one of the things that I'm always looking for is tritium and some other elements that we're going to look into here. So we're going to go in here and see if we see any tritium. If we do, we want to just instantly buy that tritium up and utilize it for expanding our thing. There's none in there. But we can jump from space station to space station, look for it that way. Or we can just fly out into space, shoot some space rocks, and then there we go, tons of tritium. Now, we also got a bunch of quests over here, and as we go along our quests, we'll get more and more peeps in our base. The only one you can't put in your main ship is the exocraft one. That does need to be on a planet. But these guys have different quests that I can continue to go through, and we just need to get back to those eventually. Another thing that we're doing in here is our different fleets. of frigates that we sent out. As you can see, there's 5 frigates right there, and we can just go in here and we can kind of debrief what they went off and did, because we sent them off to go do stuff. And so we'll go in here and we'll debrief. And what it's going to do is it's going to tell you each and every log entry or whatever. I just kind of click through it. And then when I get to the end, I can say end expedition, and it will just tell me kind of an overview by popping it up over there on the right side and say, okay, you found some superconductors. You got 2.6 million right there, which each one of these ships is like 2-3 million. And there we go. So that expedition was done. So we got a little bit of resources, and we got that. Well, guess what? We could also do mission number 2, mission number 3, mission number 4, and mission number 5, each with 5 frigates each. And I could have made 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million. So it's really good. It requires a lot of fuel, though. So you got to spend some time doing your fuel, collecting lots of fuel, getting that going on. Now, the only place in this level right here that you can't take out is your stairwell. And that's this part right here, which is going to take you down to your ship, allow you to fly out of there. They also added the ability to teleport out. You can't teleport to it, but you can teleport out of your ship now. As well as we can set up some more missions over here. We go ahead and talk to this dude. And we can go ahead and get our missions going on. Let's see if we got enough fuel to just do any mission. Let's see which one's the quickest. 5 hours right here, a combat patrol. Let's go ahead and take a look. Whoa, hello, I forgot. I got some S-classes in there. Look at those S-classes, everybody. Wow, okay. We got some serious S-classes in here. We got a bunch of combat. You know what? I'm just going to go 1 support and a bunch of... I got an S-class support right there. That's pretty sweet. My fleet rating is 5-star, and this is a 1-star difficulty rating. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. So in 5 hours from now, we can come back and we can get that going. Now, I typically like to have them all running at the same time. Maybe we get another one going here. Let's see. This is an expedition assembly. Let's go back. What kind is it? It's an industrial expedition. So we want to go ahead and combine. I usually like to have... Oh, there's our industrial. I like to have a combat every single time and a support. And then we'll go ahead and just stack these with industrial. So 3 industrial, a combat to protect them, and then a support to reduce the overall fuel. But I knew this was going to happen. We were going to run out of fuel. And that happens quite often, that you'll run out a lot of fuel. So you got to really work on your tritium. Now, also, along with tritium, we also need hydrogen or dihydrogen or dihydrogen, depending on how you want to say it, over here. So we need a lot of that as well. And we also have a bunch of this silver, but the silver's not going to help us right now. So let's go ahead and put that back into our storage container so we're not lugging that around. We got some coordinate data here, drop pod data, which allow us to work on our backpack, which we definitely need to keep working on that. And a whole bunch of other random stuff down here. We're going to take these platings out. And we've also got a bunch of resources that we're using. We also have stuff here in our cargo, including, you can see some of the stuff is like 10,000 of that, because I'm playing in the normal mode. In the normal mode, I have played in the harder modes as well. But in the normal mode, you can have up to 10,000 stacked, not only in your cargo, but also in your general stacks, too. You can see I've got another 10,000 here, 10,000 there. Of that particular resource. Now, if I have more than I really need of that resource, I typically will put that away. Also, notice I've got a bunch of antimatter and other materials that are mainly for upgrading our slots. Now, one of the things that I will do is I will work very heavy on my cargo slot upgrades at this point, which is basically where we're at, getting that going. And then as I go through different systems, I will also just spend cash to do it. And if you didn't notice, I currently have about $500 million on me right now. Yes, I'm not kidding. Right up there, 491 million on there. And I don't cheat, I don't shortcut, I use in-game mechanics, and I crush these games. That's why they call me the Space Tycoon. And we're gonna go do it right now. I'm gonna show you how I make my millions and billions and eventually trillions of dollars in just about every game that I play that has monetary units, because that's the way I like to crush games. I like to do it economic style, just like you would in Civilization, where you have different win factors. My win factor is always make so much cash that you can just buy and go on a spending spree, because we can go buy the best ships in the game right now. We can just go on a spending spree, buy tons and tons of stuff, all S classes, all S everything, if we so want. And one of that usually starts with the copper farm. So let's go ahead and warp over to the copper farm over here. And that's one of the first things that I will establish once I start getting my industrial extraction going. Instead of me going around manually collecting it, I set up industrial. Now, industrial runs when you're not in game. So this game can make me a $500 million, even $1 billion if I wanted to, dollars every time I'm not in the game. Every time I'm off doing something else, guess what? It's collecting me dollar bills. It's like compound interest, everybody. It's out here doing the job for me while I'm not even in the game. Game's not even on. It's just running, and when I come back in, it will have those resources. So the last time where we left off, we went and collected all the copper out of here, and then what we did is we grabbed everything out of our extractors or out of our storage, and then we logged out, and then now we're logging back in, and guess what? It'll all be filled up with that resource. Now in this case, it's got about 17,000 copper right here. Do I need that much copper? Probably not, but we'll grab it anyway, throw it in there, and then we're off and running, and now that will continue to run, because once it's full, it'll stop filling it up. But now that it's I pulled it out of the storage, it will now start to collect more copper and put that copper right into the storage here. It's going to take about 5 hours and 37 minutes, and we'll have 17,000 more copper right in there. Let's go ahead and get back into our portal here. Now we did our basic. Now I would always start with copper because that's the main thing you need to make other bases. And then the second thing I would start with is rusted metal. That's right. I have rusted metal. You're like, kidding me? Rusted metal? Pff, I throw that stuff away. That's junk. No, it's actually one of the greatest things in the game. It's on par with copper because it becomes ferrite dust. Ferrite dust is used in everything, along with copper and also carbon. So you want to get those three elements down, and once you have those three elements down, you rule this game. That's it. You win. I mean, within the first 15, 20 minutes of this game, once I establish those three things, bam, I win. And then the rest of it is just running around, finding fun stuff as you go along. Now, here we are at my item, or at my farm that has my rusted metal. And you can see we got a bunch of storage over there and over here. If we just peek out the side here, I can go ahead and grab my rusted metal there, and then also a bunch of oxygen over here. Now, if I go into my build mode, like I'm going to build, I can also go fly around, give you guys a little bit of an overview of what's going on. Right over here, it's extracting rusted metal, and it's going ahead and it's filling it into all of these. And then the side pipe over here is running to this side over here where it's got my rusted metal. Now, you might notice that there's more storage over here, and then a line that's running way off in the distance there. That's actually extracting oxygen. And that oxygen is also being run right over here to my base. So now I have rusted metal, oxygen, and of course copper from the previous one. So this makes about, let's say about 23,000 rusted metal. Now rusted metal is converted into ferrite dust at ×2. So that means that's 50,000 ferrite dust right there. That's right, 50,000 ferrite dust that I'm going to go ahead and grab and convert while we're off doing other things. Now also with our oxygen, we're going to go ahead and grab that. Now, why do I collect oxygen? Well, one, so you can keep your oxygen up on your spacesuit, but also oxygen becomes carbon. See, right? If you know your conversions, and I don't like to look stuff up, everybody. I don't like to look stuff up on the internet and look up the charts and all that stuff. I get those sent to me all the time. Here's a chart for No Man's Sky. Don't bother. I'm not going to look at them. I'm old school. I'm an old school gamer. I like to test it out. Okay, what happens if I mix this with this and I mix this with that? Right? Have a little like chemistry fun in No Man's Sky to learn it that way, right? Because that's how you would learn it if you were really there. You wouldn't know. There wouldn't be no charts or nothing like that. Well, of course, it is space. Maybe they left you a chart behind before you got going. But that's how I like to learn, and then I notate it like I would do it if I was really there. Like I would make notes. Okay, this is here, and this is that. This is where this is on this planet, and so on. I would do it old school way like that, and that's how I like to play games and like to discover stuff as I go along. That's why I ask people, please do not backseat game or tell me anything about it because I like to discover it, unless we're doing learn to play sessions, which we will do later on some Overcooked. So if you do have some ideas, like we played First Feudal yesterday, man, I didn't want to stop playing. That was a really fun game. Man, it kind of challenged me too, because I died early on in the game. I'm like, all right, now you're challenging me up. We died a few times, and then that last round, man, we were Johnny on the spot on it there. And that's how I like to replay the beginning of games, to really get that mechanics down. And once you get that beginning game mechanic down, it really carries you through, and you build a lot of momentum to get through the rest of the game, I find. Usually the beginning of each and every game is the most powerful part to have down. All right, so we've got our copper, we're rusted metal, and our oxygen. That's combined. You can see I've got a trade base, some what I call dollar bills base. So if you're low on cash, you need $1 million or $2 million, you can go over there and you can grab those eggs and snatch them up and then sell them off or use them however you need. Now I've also got some other farms that we set up on previous days that we were playing through. So we're going to go into our Yuri farm and we're going to teleport there. Now this is one of the first things that I do. Hey, Last Flash, what's up? One of the first things that I do is I go through and I clear out all of my farms, right? All of my resource farms that's been extracting while I've been offline. And that allows me to get those resources, put them away into my storage, and then have them there when I need them. Now, if they are getting overwhelming, if I'm getting too much, I will stop collecting it, or I will just start using it as a sell item and just sell it off. But right now, I have $500 million, so I'm not really hurting for cash. In fact, I usually find that I don't keep a lot of cash on my character, and the reason why is because it doesn't do me any good sitting in my inventory going, look at me, I got $500 million. You know what it does better? If I'm buying upgrades, if I'm using it for an actual purpose. So there's that uranium there. Now, normally I put the uranium on my spaceship here, and we'll go back into here. So we grab that uranium. And because the world, you can see on the side there, does have some radiation that happens. You can see it'll start to happen around the outside edge border of your game. I just go back in here. There it is up there in the corner. I just go back in here to prevent that. This way I don't have to spend sodium or whatever on it. So to keep myself protected. Now, here we go. We got a uranium there. Notice we've got uranium down here. We got pyrite. So we got more than enough. So now's a good time to put that away into your storage while you're here. And typically every base that I make, especially bases like this where I'm extracting stuff, look at this awesome world, everybody. Ships flying around, you got animals down there. This game is just so incredibly improved over it was when at launch, man. It's just so incredibly good. And you can see I've got all my storages there so I can store my stuff in there. By the way, do you notice it's got no power? You can actually put stuff in and out of your storage. It's like a bag of holding, if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, the old school, or like a parallel pocket dimension where it puts all your stuff, and no matter where you are, you can access that stuff in your storage as long as you have those storage containers down. And that's basically where I just put it. I just put it in those storage containers. All right, so that is that, and we're just going to quickly run through the rest of these here. We're going to go to our sodium. Speaking of sodium, go to sodium, and we're going to go ahead and grab all that out of there. Now, we are doing some stream raiders, so feel free to come and join us, everybody. I will go ahead and throw that link again in the chat. Also, don't forget to go out and retweet, everybody. It does help the stream tremendously, and, of course, does earn you guys Kiz Caps as well. Right now, we're at 1 retweet. If we get to 5 retweets, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 1,000 Kiz Caps. Great way to earn Kiz Caps here in the stream by participating and working together as a team in the chat, just like I do with my team in the game. All right, we got another one here. Again, this one's doing sodium. Let's go ahead and grab that sodium. And I'm just going to put that directly into the storage container because I know I've got plenty of sodium. Look at this cool planet. Look at this cool deal. I like to look at the planets as I'm wandering around. Because I sometimes forget what they look like. I forget, there's a lot of updated and more interesting planets now. They have kind of refocused a lot of the planet worlds and what they look like, and new variation of not only the actual planet surface itself, but also the cloud cover and the way it looked. Your draw detail and distance is just phenomenal, and of course variation on your fauna and flora and all your animals and stuff that you run into in the universe. They're just crushing it again and again. In fact, they've come up with so many updates. I have still not got a living ship yet. I have still not got all that massive stuff that they've added to the game. I only have so much time in the day to play, but I try my best, everybody. I try my best to get in there and grab as much as I can. Now look at this. We got a lot of this going, and this is my gold right here. Now, the reason why I collect gold is to convert it into platinum, and that platinum then becomes our nanocarbon alloy, our nanites, right there, right? So we can take our silver and our gold and combine them to do that. Now, there's other ways of doing it as well. You can convert eggs. You can do a whole bunch of other ways. But I find that's the easiest because it doesn't require me to do anything other than to set up my extraction. As you saw, I grabbed my gold there. And then also I've got some cobalt here, so I grabbed that, again, put that away, and it's just doing all the work for me, which is awesome because I like to set it and forget it. That's a common theme here in my stream, to set it and forget it there. And so we got that, our cobalt and gold farm. We also have our silver one right over here, so let's go ahead and bounce to there. Speaking of silver, we'll go grab that as well. So I try to set up what I consider to be the basics of a playthrough in No Man's Sky. Again, copper, rusted metal, and oxygen to get started, and then you start working on your other items that you're going to need along the way, like converting rusted metal into ferrite dust, converting oxygen into carbon, and so on down the road. Now, also sodium is pretty important. I would probably do that one next, and then work your way across, depending on what you're going to be doing in the game, to gold, silver, things like that. Now, I've got my silver right here, and it's literally right where I teleport in because I ran the line right here. It's about another 50,000 silver, and you saw we already got crazy tons of silver and gold earlier. So we've got lots and lots of that. So there we go. We got that done, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the farms that I have set up right now. Now, I could go in and I could go and, or at least the basic farms, and I could do every single element that it lets me extract if I wanted to, right? I could go in and do phosphorus. I could do all the rest of those as well. I typically don't. I typically will, when I need something, that's when I'll make a farm for it. But if I don't need it in the moment right now, or I can just buy it on the auction hall, because at this point, there's one more farm that makes me a lot of cash, and this is one right here, Activated Idiom Farm. Now, there's a lot of ways to make cash in here. You can do missions, you can do farming of stuff, you can do chlorine, you can take your copper and sell that, you can take gold and sell that, you can collect the eggs, you can do storm crystals. There's a lot of different ways of just being absolutely insanely wealthy in No Man's Sky. But my favorite one is the set it and forget it style of doing activated idiom, which is one of the most valuable things in the game. And what I'll do is slowly build up. First, I'll start with, say, about a million, 10 million, 100 million, 200 million, 500 million, $500 million. Yeah, I'll set that up, and I'm going to show you how I do that right now. I go ahead and set up a massive storage right over here of, I'm not messing around. Not messing around on this one. As you can see, I have massive tons of storage that's holding my activated idiom. Now, this is one of the few times that I do more than 9. As you can see, I have a massive amount of extractors to make it go faster. You can see I was fooling around with coloring it different colors. You can do all sorts of different colors on your stuff as well. Just give it some variety, or to let you know this is this thing, this is that thing, and so on. But as you can see, I have 5 per row. So this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 extractors extracting that. Now, of course, there's diminishing returns in the game now. Previously, before the Origins update, there was no diminishing returns, but there is. If I add 25 more, it's not necessarily going to make it that much faster, but it will make it a little bit faster, depending on, if you have plenty of resources like I do, you can keep expanding and expanding. Now, let's go see how much it's actually extracting right now. simply by rolling out here, and I can go ahead and, again, just poke my head out the door. I put it right by the door so I can grab it. Also, you can build it inside your base if you want. I've done that many a time where you build it inside. Even if you're just using the wood, you can go ahead and build it inside the base. You don't have to go outside, and you can see it's raining. Go out in the storm or in the radiation or whatever it is on that planet. So this is extracting right now 193,000 activated idiom. Now, if you've ever played this game, you know that is a lot of idiom. And if you roll over it over here, you can see that it says it is worth 183 million. Now, you got to remember that this collected this while I was not even in the game, right? I set this up. I went and collected the raw materials. I set up all those other farms so I could set this farm up. And now every time I log in, every so many hours, it's going to be basically about 180 to 190. So we're about $250 million right now, and we're going to keep expanding it as we go along the way. So I'm going to take that and try to put that in my inventory. But you can see that even in my inventory, that is too much for me to put in there. So I'm going to right-click that to take my to cancel that, and I'm going to go ahead and take all of this and I'm going to put it in to my storage container here to give myself enough room to go ahead and try to get all of that at once onto my character. Let's try it again. We grab it. It's going to tell me 189. Still not enough. Still not enough room. Let's go ahead and take our phosphorus for right now, and we'll put that, let's put it on our spaceship, our sodium, cobalt, and then let's grab it again. So at some point, you're going to have so much, there we go, you're going to have so much activated idiom that you can't even put it in your inventory. It's that much that you're going to have. Now, of course, I still have to activate all the rest of my slots, and this is not my first time playing through, everybody. I've played through the game many times, all the way through, and done all the storyline and so on and so forth. So it's not my first rodeo, everybody. So sometimes when I'm explaining stuff on stream, people come in and they try to tell me, hey, Kismet, you should do this, or backseat game, and tell me all of that stuff. It's not my first thing. Now, again, there's other ways of making lots of money. Like chlorine, you can make crazy tons of cash doing that. But one of the things that I like to do, and that's my style of gameplay, and however you like to play, that's great, awesome. But my style of gameplay is I literally log in the game for 2 hours. I play the game as I'm going along. I log out, and I have no further interaction until I log back in again. And then I have another 200 million, right? There's nothing else I need to do. I don't have to farm plants. I don't have to go collect stuff. I don't have to do anything. It does it for me. And your time, I feel, is your most valuable. You should always factor your time into how much you're generating, right? If I'm doing nothing at this point further, that means I'm making 100% profit. It costs me nothing else, right? It cost me a couple minutes to go grab it out of there, and that's all it cost me. And then I log out of the game, turn my computer off, go 4 states over, spend some time over there, come back in so many hours, and guess what? There's another 190 million. Now, how do I know how long it's going to be? Well, I can look at my supply depot again, and you can see it's going to be about 50 hours. So if I come back in a couple days, guess what? Another 190 million without having to do anything, without having to even be in the game. And that is the ultimate in profit versus investment, right? And that's the kind of game I like to play. I like to play what is the maximum return for the minimum cost, right? That's efficiency. If you have that maximum efficiency. Now, if you're in a hurry, guess what? When you get to this point and you're making 200 million every time you log in, guess what? You could just go and buy everything. You can go and buy all the S-Class stuff every time you run into stuff. Now, one of the great things about the game is it is very varied in the fact that you can't just go to a store and buy all the nicest stuff. I can't just go right now and buy all the S-Class ships. You know why? Because they're random. You never know when you're going to see them. Like, I've seen an exotic multiple times in the game, and every single time I see those exotics, I typically don't have the cash in that moment. And so if I want to see that exotic again, guess what? Low chance I'm going to see it. Low chance. But actually in this playthrough, for once, I actually saw an exotic early game, too. Early game, because we're only, I don't know how many hours we're into this one now. I could actually look it up. Let's go look it up. Not very far in. And again, I love to restart. I like to restart whenever they come out with a big update. Let's go over here to save. Let's see. We're about, what is that, 10 hours there? 10 hours in, or 12 hours? 12 hours and 25 minutes in this playthrough. And I'm already making 200 million. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Yeah, so we're about 12 hours in. That's just a couple days of playing this playthrough, and we're already crazy rich. And so we can go buy every single frigate, and we did. We have 25 frigates. We've maxed out that. We got some S-class ships that we did buy, and so on. And so I can buy upgrades. I can buy all of that stuff and be wealthy beyond anything that I would need at this point forward. And that's kind of fun because now you don't have to worry about cash anymore. One less thing to worry about, as Forrest Gump says. One less thing to worry about. You can go out and then explore the universe. You can go ahead and upgrade your ships and upgrade your vehicles and wander around and do missions and upgrade your rep and do all of that fun stuff, because there's also all those other factors in the game as well. Now, some people are old school. They're like, Kismet, I don't like to do the industrial mining. I like to manually collect and whatever. Remember, it's your game. You play it however you want. In my case, I like doing it this style because I only have so many minutes in the day. I do like to play multiple different games. I don't just focus on one single game 20 hours a day. I couldn't do it anyway. At my age, I can barely sit upright. So I try to do my best. But every time we come in, we add a little bit more and a little bit more. Now, in my previous playthrough, we were making $500 million every time we logged in. And it actually went faster than this. Now, because this has taken 50 hours, as you see, right, 50 hours, it actually used to only take 24 hours. Because there's diminishing returns now on it. It actually takes longer to do the same thing it did now after the Origins update than it did before. So it takes about double as long. But I could just make another farm and just do this one in, say, 150, and do the next one 150, next one 150, and so on. And so as I spread them out a little bit, it'll then be at the same speed. Because I could literally make 15 of these if I wanted to. And now I'd be making $1 billion. I could make 100 of them, I'd be making $1 trillion. Right? I can make as many as I want. I can go to town on it, everybody. But there is a point in which it is unnecessary to keep putting effort into making money when you already have $500 million on me. And now I have another 200 billion roughly, or 200 million on me right now. So I'm going to have basically like 700 million. You can only have so much cash on your character anyway in the game. So I'm just showing you a great way to do it for the minimum investment of just setting up your farms of your ferrite dust, your copper, your oxygen as well. And that's going to allow you to keep doing this. Now look at the superheated storms. It's going to allow you to keep doing this, right? Now, I can go and sell it right here if I want to. Now, one of the things you want to watch out for, I'm in a single-player game. One of the things you want to watch out for in a multiplayer game, that if you go into one of the core systems where everybody's at, and then you start selling like your activated idiom in there, it's going to crash the market for it. You can also do some trickery where you can work around the mechanics and sell it to one of the people who are flying in and out of there. We did learn that as well. I don't like doing that. It kind of feels like a little glitchy cheating to me, but that's, I try to avoid any cheating or shortcutting or glitching or doing any of that stuff. I mean, when I first started playing this game, within the first like 20 minutes of playing this game, when it first came out, way a long time ago, I figured out how to make $1 trillion in the game. And it was because when you convert stuff, you can convert it back, and you would get more of the thing when you converted it back. So that means I could just sit there and convert back and forth, and make $1 trillion or $2 trillion or 100 trillion, how much ever I wanted to make in the game. Now, again, you can't have 100 trillion on you. You can't. You'd have trouble spending 100 trillion in the game, because you can only have so many ships, you can only have so many weapons and so many items on your character in the first place. But you could definitely go in, make a bunch of cash, pretty early on. Like right when I start the game, I make about 2 million right at the beginning, what I call dollar bills, by grabbing a bunch of those eggs. And I have a great technique. You put walls around where those eggs are at. Of course, you put a base down, put walls around them. You jump in there, you grab the eggs. The mobs spawn outside. They can't get to you. Then you jump up on top of the base that you've taken over, because it's usually around a base. And then you jump down into the next area. And then you jump back up, jump down the next area, and so on. And right at the very beginning of the game, you've got $2 million in your pocket. And then you can come back later, because it will respawn, and keep doing that if you want. Or you can do storm crystals, or you can get a bunch of copper and sell that, or gold, or whatever, to get to a point where you're just literally rich beyond your wildest dreams in any game. And again, all I have to do is wait another 50 hours and bam, I get it. And I don't play the game every single day, all day. So you definitely don't want to do this. Now, as you can see right here, it's worth about 153 million. It's a minus 16%, right? This demand is very important, because it's going to, you know, at this level, it's going to be a difference of millions and millions of dollars. So that's basically like 16 million. That's taking off of my overall value of my activated idiom there. Now, it gets worse when you sell it to the vendor. It's going to be like minus 80% in there as well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump up to one of my space stations here. Now, I don't remember where I left off. I think I might have... oh, I did note it. Wow, I noted up there. It was System 3 last time. So we're going to go to System 4 if we've got a station for that. We do right here. While we're warping to System 4, let's go ahead, catch up on the chat, and do a battle. Let's go. To battle! All right, let's go ahead and put this in here. Let's get our battle going. Let me catch up on the chat here. Again, thank you to Riverdog for hanging out. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here in the stream. My awesome mod. Let's see. Fatal coming in says, I have a 10K an hour farm. I dug underground, I think that means. I dug underground, made multiple layers between 100% and 80% efficiency. Well, there you go. You don't have to necessarily dig underground. You can just go vertical as well. You don't have to dig down, because it's still going to be the same. Vertically, it's always that, you know, 80 to 100%. In my last playthrough, by the way, my very first node that I was looking for activated idiom was an S node. The very first one I ran into was an S node right off the bat. That was a very lucky playthrough. And literally, I tapped that S node, and it made me trillions of dollars. It was incredible. Incredibly lucky, because those S nodes are pretty hard to find. I forget what node that was. I guess I should have looked while I was there. But I don't care after a while. After a while, again, it's just a passive income. And you have that passive collection of items. It really does help you a lot. And that's what you want. You want as many things going on at the same time that you don't have to manually do. And I feel like every great game will progress to that way. Great example, like Satisfactory, we were playing yesterday, right? At first, you're making it yourself, you're collecting it, you're doing all that stuff, and then you're working your way through to where it starts collecting it, and it starts processing it, and it starts making it, and then it's running it into your space elevator, and it's making you those items that you need to progress through the game. And I feel like the same way in No Man's Sky. When we first start off, of course, we're collecting manually, and then we're building up our base. We're then setting up our farms, and we have a little farm, and it's collecting 1,000 of that, say, ferrite dust. We turn that into 2,000, or 1,000 rusted metal. We turn that into 2,000 ferrite dust, and now we got a little ferrite dust, and then we get carbon, and we get oxygen, and we got a little bit of that, and then we start expand those. Now we're getting 5,000. Now we're getting 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, and we can keep going. We go 100,000, 500,000, a million if you want. It's not necessary, because it's going to be way more materials than you can store or even sell to the bank, because you can only hold so much on your actual character, even with max slots and stuff like that in there. So we're going to go over here and check how much it's worth over here. Now, I'm always watching, by the way, every time I come in here, when I do have a lot of cash, I'm always watching to see what resources are in here. I'm looking for tritium, and then also, wow, all right. We'll go ahead and finish this battle first. I was just running my guy over there while I was talking to you guys. I'm always looking for tritium, and I just ran him over, and there's some tritium in here. We'll look at it here in just a second. Oh, look out. Anon coming in with a 41 months of sub love. Getting on the Kismet love train today. Good to see you, Anon. Hope you're having a great day today. Let's go ahead and open the captain's chest right over here. Thank you, Go Boy, also for the follow. Let's go ahead and give you guys some love. Grant some rewards. The Last Splash, Blue Chronos getting some love, and Riverdog coming in overall MVP. It's a little side game we play called Stream Raiders. Very, very fun. Played every 30 minutes or so for about a minute or so. Right there. Bam. Start the new battle. Now, you're welcome to come join us. It is free to play, both on mobile and on desktop. You can come and join all these awesome people you can see pop up here in just a second on that sidebar. As we go ahead and place our units together and try to battle out against all the enemies here. I'm going to go over here on the left side. Just so we can go ahead and push into these generators. I'm always pushing on the generators first because they're going to keep generating more mobs. So the faster we take those out, the faster that we can get through the level, and so we don't have to fight as many mobs. So there we go. Rotisserie G going to take care of the high side. We can take care of the low side and the high side. Push through and crush them. And again, thank you, Go Boy, for that follow, becoming a brand new Teamwork Tycoon. Now, we'll come back to that in a bit. So let's get back to No Man's Sky. Look at this. Again, always keeping my eye open. That's pretty lucky, everybody, to find it when I was talking about it. That's pretty lucky right there. Now, one of the things that they don't have when you're actual crafting in your inventory is the ability to do this. See that? Where I can go back and forth. I can actually go in. Hear that noise? That's me collecting more and more of those things up to 1,267. Now, there's actually an easier way to do it. You can actually just hit the Q and it will flip over to maximum, right? If you look at this one, it's minimum 1 Q. It'll flip over to maximum. You can do it that way as well. Like if I'm going to create a whole bunch of, say, plates, if I'm going to create a bunch of metal plates, I have to literally press it 100 times to do it. It'd be way better if it did this right here, where you could go make 100 of them. That way it would be way better. But we're going to go ahead and buy out all this tritium. We don't need the salt. I was just using that as an example. We don't need any of this, though I could buy it all out if I want to. Now, a lot of times I'll come in here just because I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to have to press the button 100 times. I'll go in and buy this metal plating. But let's go ahead and act like we're going to sell here, or maybe we will sell. We'll see. And we're going to go in and we're going to try to sell our items. And sometimes I'll get confused as to whether I'm selling or buying, and I'll accidentally sell the stuff that I have. It happens. Now, oh, we've already been here. See, look, we've already been here. It says minus 80%. And thus our, 190 million roughly is now worth 35 million at this particular location. So we've already done 4, but we did find some tritium, so that's good. And then we'll get out of there, and then we'll go ahead and go to 5. Now, I actually name all of my systems in a number sequence. And that makes it easier for me to remember that I've already been to 4, and now I need to go to 5, which is what I'm basically doing right now. And I call them the Tycoon system, right? So after the Teamwork Tycoons, which are my community here on Twitch. And so as I go through, it makes it easier for me to remember where I've been and which one's the next one for me to go to. And usually I do it to about 20 or 25 systems. I typically don't go more than about 25 systems in any playthrough. In any playthrough at all. I don't go and catalog hundreds and hundreds of systems. I just physically, in real life, do not have enough time to do that. But if that's your jam, more power to you. Now let's go over here and sell again. Now, I could bypass this, by the way, and I could turn around and I could go over here and I could sell it to these guys that are landing in here, and then it won't crash the market and whatnot. I do feel like that is a bit glitchy, cheaty kind of style of playing. I avoid those in game, even if it's to my benefit. I don't cheat, shortcut, glitch, or do any of that stuff. I feel like you're cheating yourself out of the game. And so it just adds a little bit more fun to where I have to go and try to find it. Now that's actually a really good one, only minus 0.02%. Now again, remember, if you're playing multiplayer, watch out. You don't want to do this in the core systems where other people are at. These are systems that I've discovered, brand new systems that I've discovered as I've gone along. And so I'm separate from everybody else. So if you're playing multiplayer, watch out that you don't crush the system for someone else who's trying to sell and build up as well. But I'm going to go ahead and sell this for 183 million. Here we go. Boom. There we go. We basically logged in. We picked up the stuff. We sold it over here. Maybe took us 10 minutes to teleport there to get the thing and come back, sell it off, find out which one I'm on. Now I should make a note of which one I'm on. I'm on number 5. So my next one is going to be system number 6. So I'm going to make a note up here so that when we come back in next week, we will go ahead and do it. Now, I'm not going anywhere, everybody, right now. I'm just saying that the next time, I usually play once a week. We usually play for a few hours and catch up on our stuff. Now I see some pungent in there, and as I'm looking for elements, because I've played through the game already, I know what elements I'm looking for later, for different quests that I might do and things like that. And so if I see them in here, I will buy them in the moment. I will buy them all. Now I could literally go in here and buy everything out if I wanted to. I could buy every single thing out of there if I wanted to and have it. But then it just clutters up your inventory. So we'll grab a bit of that and we'll put it on our starship for right now. Now, we do have a lot of room in here, so we can just be a little lazy. And instead of me sitting there pressing the button 100 times, or in this case 64 times, I can just go ahead and buy the metal plating, even though I literally have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of ferrite dust to make it myself. It's just more convenient for me just to straight up buy it in there. Now let's go ahead and move on over here, and we've done all of our bases now. We've done all of our farms and whatnot. We've collected all of that. We made our $250 million right there, or 1/4 of a billion, I guess if you look at it that way. Now I have 674 million. Now you're like, well, Kevin, you got all that cash. What are you going to do with it? Well, as I'm going around the world in the moment, and when I see that S-class ship, I can buy the S-class ships and buy the S-class upgrades and buy all that stuff. I'll have enough cash in the moment to do it, because a lot of the times you'll see exotics and you'll see all these epic ships that you want to buy, but you won't have enough cash in the moment, and that's why I keep the cash in the moment in which I need it. So if I need to buy a bunch of tritium or dehydrogen or any of that stuff, I can buy it in the moment. That's really, really valuable to be able to do that, because, again, it's very randomized. Now, speaking of ships, there's some down here. I can hold down the F key, and it's going to show me basically what these ships are. Like, we've got C-class there. This right here is a C-class as well, just a hauler. We can also talk to this guy, and I could have sold it to him and just bypassed crashing the thing, but, again, I don't like to do that. I can also buy items from this guy, so if he's got stuff I need to, like he's got some metal plating, let me buy some from him. He might have something else that is not up there over here. Maybe if I'm looking for some quantum computers or whatever it is, rusted metal, ammonium. And again, a lot of this stuff I can just farm or convert from its base resource as well. So don't really need any of that right now. I probably need some of that later, because whenever you don't buy something, that's when you need it later. That guy's taken off there. Let's go talk to this guy. Again, we can look at their ships. This is C-class and B-class. Now, depending on the financials of that particular system, how rich that particular system is, right? There's like 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star. 3-star being among the best to try to find the S-class ships and the exotics. I actually found an exotic in this playthrough. It's the very first time I bought an exotic in the game, because every single time I see one, I rarely ever have the cash in the moment, which is why I build up tons of cash. Now, again, we can go ahead and look at these different guys and see what they have. Now, sometimes I find that they have the same thing, and notice I've got even more plates and whatnot. We're going to use that here in just a second. But again, I'm looking for any variety of what they have. Like pungium there, dioxide, we'll go ahead and get that. So instead of me going and setting up a farm to extract that stuff, which I totally could, I could do it right now. I've got a lot of those resources I can go ahead and extract. I just go ahead and start buying it from the actual vendors themselves. Great way to build up a backlog of resources as well. And see, as I see people coming in and out, I'll try to talk to them. Can't remember if and I'll forget who I've talked to as well. That happens all the time. And so we'll go ahead and buy items from this guy. What has he got? More metal plates. Notice I'm stocking up. Oh, I can't hold anymore. Now, here's a great thing you can do. You can go ahead and switch to your starship and actually buy them and automatically put them on your starship instead of on your character. That works well as well. In case you see some resources. Oh, dehydrated jelly. That's 56 too. That's a lot of dehydrated jelly right there. All right, that's a good amount. Grab that. More pungium. We're going to need that later. We got some pyrite. You know what? Let's grab that too. And again, it's shopping spree time, everybody. It's like winning the sweepstakes, right? You go into your favorite electronics store, or you go in your favorite toy store, and you're just like, you know what? Buy whatever you want, right? Buy whatever you want. Grab whatever you want. That is basically what I'm doing right now. I'm very curious what your setup looks like for your stream. I'm looking at 6 monitors right now in the background. I did have a video that YouTube has destroyed that does talk about about behind my stream, and I have a whole series that I'm working on about becoming a Twitch partner and how I became an affiliate and all the equipment that I use behind the scenes and all the techniques that I use and doing overlays and doing all of that stuff. Basically to download all the knowledge I've acquired so you don't have to spend 6 hours, 8 hours, 20 hours, 50, 100 hours trying to figure out all the stuff that I did. And I've spent just thousands and thousands of hours figuring out how to play anything and everything live here on stream. Right now, which I have it set up right now, I could flip over to the Switch, and I got it right here ready for later because we're going to play, of course, Overcooked. I've got a cool custom controller and my Switch right here that I could switch over to. I could also switch over to mobile. I could switch over to my Xbox, my PS4. I could switch over to all of those, right? I could even switch to my Mac over here if I wanted to, or onto mobile and play any game on any platform at any moment. And that is what I've been working on. Now, if you don't think you're going to do this like a long term, do not spend a lot of money. My biggest advice as a streamer is to first start with a great microphone. I would start with the Wave with Elgato, or this one, the Blue Yeti. I have the Yeti Caster, which is awesome. It's absolutely amazing. Now, if you want to see all of my stuff, I go way and beyond in my community and in my stream. Here's an easy way to know every single thing that I have in my studio. You go ahead and click on the link right there in the chat to kismet.gg. I have a section where you can click on studio because one of the number one questions I get here in the stream, I've been getting it for 6 years, of Kismet, what kind of computer do you have? What kind of microphone do you have? What kind of lights do you use? And what kind of green screen and all that stuff. Now, right now, the biggest supplier that I use, the one I love the most, who does the best job, is Elgato. Elgato is absolutely crushing. I never even heard of Elgato instead of years ago where I ran into them at TwitchCon, and they had a roll-up green screen. Oh my gosh. Now, I had a green screen where I was folding it down every day, and it had a metal band around there. And especially that metal band would come up and hit me in the face because it's like spring loaded. It was spring open, right? And so I had this old green screen that I hated because it took up my whole entire office. I had to fold it down every day. It was really annoying. And so I saw that green screen. I'm like, oh my God, how awesome. Also, they have amazing microphones. They have amazing lights. They, of course, have the greatest thing I've ever bought for my stream called the Stream Deck. If you have not discovered the Stream Deck, everybody, it does macros for you. All the advanced techniques and graphics and 3D animations and really above and beyond. I'm like way up here, everybody. I'm way beyond. I'm one of the few people who do gigantic full screen alerts that are fully animated and things like that, because I love to show you guys off, because you guys are an important part of my stream as well. Important thing to know about streaming, everybody, is that remember that your community is part of the adventure, right? Make sure to include them in everything that you do. So if you do want to see that, feel free to go ahead and check out my website, kismet.gg, including there's links to every single thing, even the cables, because I get questions. Kismet, what cables do you use, right? How do you have your computer on one side of the room and run your USB and run your keyboards and everything to the other side of the room, which I do. I have a whole bunch of USB extenders that I use, and what are the cables? Where can I buy them? Where can I get them from, right? Now, some of those are affiliate links and some of them are not. I don't care. It's okay if you don't use affiliate links. It's okay if you go to Steam and not use instead of Green Man Gaming and get the game for cheaper. It's okay. I'm not worried about that. But, hey, if you do go to Amazon and you want to say, Kismet, I'm going to buy something on Amazon anyway, and it helps support your stream, you go ahead and click that Amazon link down there before you go and buy whatever it is, and it does help out the stream. And I just take every single penny, and plus a whole bunch of my pennies and my wife's pennies, and put them right back into the stream in the form of giveaways and a whole bunch of other stuff like stream avatars and taking my mods to TwitchCon and things like that. This is not a for-profit enterprise, everybody. This is for love and enjoyment and creating moments of joy. And that's what I try to do every day, and that's what I want to do every single day right here. So there we go. So that's, you can go ahead and check it out over there. Eventually you will see my setup, by the way, on that page. I'm working on that. I do everything, everybody. I do everything other than some stuff I farm out, like some artwork, like those stream avatars down there and my cheer motes and all of that stuff. I do try to help other artists here on stream. I added a new section down below, by the way, for those who haven't seen it yet, for artists that I recommend who have helped me out here on the stream, who I paid. I don't hire artists and say, hey, could you do this for free? I've been an artist for 30 years. Don't ask artists to do stuff for you for free. They went to school. They've spent thousands of hours. What you're doing with artists is you're paying for their expertise. You're not paying for a logo. You're paying for their expertise. I feel that very strongly. When you come to me as a graphic designer, and I don't graphic design for other people anymore, but when somebody comes to me and they say, hey, I need a logo, they're coming to me for a reason. For my experience, my background in 30 years in graphic design. Most people cannot afford me because I'm not the cheapest in there. And I know that. And I let people know. I say, I'm not the cheapest, but I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be the one that delivers your job on the first try without any rigmarole, or you have to call me 15 times to find out the status of your job or to find out what's going on, which is a real problem in today's world. It's a real problem. People do not follow up. People do not come through on what they say. And I was very adamant that if you sign on with me, I'm going to follow up with you. Even when someone contacts me, I will contact them within 24 hours and say, look, even if to say that I don't have time right now, but let's work on your project. Let's talk about your project on Friday. I'll call you Friday at 10:30. How's that sound? Sounds good? And I'll call them at 10:25. 5 minutes early. Why? Because then you know that person is Johnny on the spot. I'll call them a little bit early just to be, because if you're on time, you're late. If you're on time to stuff, you're late. You should be early at least 5 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes. A lot of times when I would go to an interview or I would go to work, I would be there 15 minutes early, and I would, we know a lot of the ways that I got promoted, by the way, and a great example, I was sitting in our conference room, and I was reading about this brand new thing called the internet. I had a little book. It was only 54 pages thick, and it said everything about the internet before anybody knew anything about it, right? This was way before anybody even had web pages or nothing. And so I was reading this book, and I'm like, whoa, this is like an amazing thing. It's like connecting the whole entire world together. How awesome. Now, today it seems trivial to everybody, but in those days, that was revolution. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. I mean, you could register Apple.com, McDonald's.com. You could register all those things. And I could have done it right there. But I'm not a scumbag, so I don't do that. I don't steal other people's intellectual property, everybody. If I go and register McDonald's.com or Apple.com, that's stealing their intellectual property. And that's how I look at it. Other people do not look at it that way. They look at it as an opportunity to scam people out of their money. At least that's how I look at that as well. But I was reading that, and I was sitting in there. And then the boss comes in, who's a multimillionaire, by the way. Guy, I'm sitting there working on, $10-20 million worth of equipment, pre-press and printing equipment, by the way. That's what I did. I was at the highest of the highest end. I've done everything you can do in graphic design, 100% achievement in real life. And so I'm sitting there reading this book, and I'm there about 15 minutes early, because I am always early in everything I try to do, because I hate being late. And that's what's really tough in my conditions now, as I'm very irritated in myself when I'm late, or when I can't stream, or when I'm like today I was running behind by an hour. I hate being late. I hate being behind. I like to be on time early. I'm usually here an hour before the stream, setting everything up, making sure everything's running, making sure the games load, making sure that my titles are set up and all of my tweeting and stuff. It also takes me 10 minutes at the very beginning, and I use every single bit of that 10 minutes of startup time to send out tweets, and then I'm writing stuff, and I'm sending it out on Twitter, and I'm following up on stuff. I'm making sure my mods are in the chat, and they're here, and they're ready, and all of that stuff. I'm doing all of that in the very beginning, as well as getting ready for the stream as well. So I do put a lot of time and effort into it. And so if you're going to do that, make sure that that you do focus on being early. So as I finish that story, before we get back into the game here, it's okay, the game can just sit here. I'd love to talk to the chat. And so I was reading that book about the internet. And so the boss came in, the big boss, I mean the multimillionaire boss, and this is a place where I worked. They had clients like Capitol Records, right? That's a huge client. They have clients like Disney. I'm talking the top companies in the world, and they would bring in their designs, and we would either design them and then run them out, or they would have already designs done, and then we would take them and we would prep them to go to film. If you don't know what film is, basically it's like plastic that they make, and they actually take that as a transfer. So it outputs the file from your computer to the film, and then the film goes to the press, and then the press is then plated and then done. Now they got digital now, so eventually it went all digital where you don't use the film anymore, and I knew when it went digital, that's the time to get out of that business. And then I just started doing graphic design straight up after that. But I made a fortune, everybody. I made an absolute fortune at 20 years old. I made more than my dad did. He worked at the same place for 40 years. He was in charge of 10,000 people, and I was making more than him in my 20s. And he made a good amount of money as well. So I felt pretty good. Now, of course, that's called peaking early, everybody. You peak early, but then again, I got to have an incredible career, and I eventually ended up working at Apple as a senior tech up there, the highest of the highest in, which I consider that one of my great achievements as well in my life, to work for basically one of the top companies in the world as well. And I've worked with all the top companies, which is really great. That poor trader's being held up. He's not doing anything important anyway. He's just chilling out. He's just chilling out. Can I ask what you used the motor oil for? Motor oil? What are you talking about? In here? Is there motor oil? Did I miss it? I don't see no motor oil. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. But the end of that story, getting back to that, because if I don't finish that story, I'm going to forget and get sidetracked on something else. So the boss came in, and he's like, hey, what are you doing in here? Because he thought I was just sitting there goofing off in the conference room, right? And that's usually where I sit. It's funny, you never notice me in there, but usually where I sit, I come in, I park, I go inside, I sit in there, and I read something for 15 minutes or so while I'm waiting for the previous shift to finish what they're doing and then tell me what's going on, because I'm the boss. So they'll send me an email, and they'll say, this is the status of all these jobs, because we're running out crazy tons of jobs all day. I mean, literally thousands of jobs running out to film, and they all have different statuses. They're going to different presses, and they're getting done. And they have a lot of management that you have to do to make sure that it comes out right. Because you got to think that some of these things are worth millions of dollars. This could cost the company millions of dollars if you screw it up. So you got to be AO number one, right? And I actually am the highest rated employee of all time at that place. And I see, when you get high rated, because what they do is they do a review every year. When you get high rated, that affects how much of a pay raise you get. And I was on salary plus overtime. So that means that I worked all the time, everybody. I just worked relentlessly. I worked more in my 20s. I worked like 30 years worth of work in my 20s than I did in the rest of my career. I absolutely worked all the time. I made a tremendous amount of money, spent it all, because that's what you do when you're young. And so the boss came in and thought I was screwing around. And I said, oh, no, I'm just waiting. I'm here a bit early. I usually come in a bit early. I sit here in the conference room. I read a book or whatnot. I'm reading about this thing called the internet, which is coming out, which is a global connection of all the computers coming. And then you'll be able to, do like bulletin board systems, right? Because he understands what bulletin boards are. And I started in bulletin boards way back in the day, which is a predecessor. By the way, it's kind of like a Reddit. Right, back in the day. It's the predecessor to the webpage. And so then we started up a conversation about the internet. And then he started saying, well, hey, man, we should get in on this internet thing, because then people could send in jobs, and then we could send that going. I said, that's a great idea, man. We could get that all set up. We could get in a whole system, and we were one of the first people to do that. One of the first people where you could send your job in from anywhere in the world to our facility, and we'll run it out, and then we'll send it to you. That's right. See, so just in that moment, not only did I look good to the boss, and of course I got a big fat raise that year, and then also I look smart because I've now thought of a new thing that brings income for the business, and also it basically lets that boss know that this employee is not screwing around. I'm not sitting in here just taking a break, in the conference room, right? I'm in here doing something. I'm in here learning more about my craft, as well as expanding my knowledge, as well as just being here on time. I'm responsible and reliable, right? If you're responsible and reliable, I don't care if someone else is better than you at your job. If you're responsible and reliable, and I know I can just set you to a task and you're going to get it done, that's the most valuable thing you can get in any business. Be that most valuable person. That's who I always was. The most valuable person in the business is the one that you can say, Kismet, I need this done. And I'm like, I'm on it. That's it. You don't need to give excuses and my cat and dog and the planets weren't aligned and whatever BS that people always come up with. Here's what it is. You go and you get it done. You get it done, you get the rewards, right? And if they're not rewarding you, then you need to go somewhere else. Or you need to say, look, I'm putting in the work. I expect the rewards, right? Before I go for anybody, before I work for anybody, back in the day, I don't work for anybody anymore. I now do this. But before I work for somebody, first I want to know who owns that business. I don't care how big that business is. Who is the number one person at that business? Who are the corporate people at that business? Who's the board, right, that overruns that business? If you're doing corporate business or even smaller businesses, who's the people who own it? Who's the people who are running it? Who are the managers? How long have they been in business, right? You're investing your effort and your time into working somewhere. You need to know that. That's important knowledge to know. What are the benefits? What are they going to give you? Dental? Are they going to give you medical? I can tell you that Apple has the most incredible benefits ever. And I had to give those up, everybody, when I got ill. I had to give up all of those benefits, which really, I'm older, so, if I die, oh well. But, those benefits are great for when you have children, right? Because children are always getting into all sorts of mischief that costs you literally thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. Because, they cut their knee, they script their arm, they'll, like my kids, they had, their toes had issues. They had an ingrown toenail that got infected, and thus we had to go in and have surgery on it, and on two of my kids, too. I don't know what they're running around with no shoes all the time. I keep telling them, put their shoes on. I'm like, no, put your shoes on. No more toe problems. And that literally cost me $8,000. Cost me $8,000 per child. That was after the insurance kicked in. My wife's insurance. In that case. That would have been covered, by the way, under my Apple insurance. The whole thing. The whole thing would have been covered. So I want to know the benefits. What's 401k? What kind of 401ks you got? You got IRA 401k, you got Roth 401k. This is very important. Never give over the power of your money to anybody. You want to know where every penny's going and what's going on with every single thing at every single moment. I'm like a money magician, everybody. I got like $10 in the bank, but still somehow manage to pay all the bills every single month, right? Just my wife is the only one who's working. I don't make a dime doing this. This is all reinvested and reinvested and reinvested. It would be great one day if, I became the top streamer and, made money and this actually paid it off for itself, which I seriously doubt. But what it does, it pays in joy. It pays in dividends of I want to get out of the bed every day. Those are the dividends that you can't put any price on, right? The fact that I've lost 50 pounds, the fact that I can sit now at the computer for more than 30 minutes and feel better, and I can get out and I can mow my lawn and I can walk around and I can drive again. All of these things were taken away from me. And I've used streaming and I've used mowing my lawn and all of that stuff as a kind of a hurdle, right? As a marker to see how I'm getting better over time, right? And sometimes, I got to say, sorry, everybody, I'm too dizzy. I got to go, right? Sometimes that'll happen, right? And that's what we call kids talk here in the stream, everybody. Sometimes I just stop in the middle of the stream and we have a little chat, and that's okay, right? It's okay. Don't get too triggered, everybody. Like, play the game. No, I do whatever I want. Guess what, everybody? You answer to no one. If you want to play Dungeons and Dragons and you want to do some RPG, you go and do it. If you want to listen to certain type of music and everyone says, that music sucks, hey, that's your music, you do it. If you want to sing in the shower, sing in the shower. You go ahead. Even if you're not good at it, I'm a terrible singer, but I still sing and I still laugh and I still have a good time and I dance with my kids and I enjoy every minute of life because guess what? That's where the value is. That's where you're going to get the most valuable stuff out of your life. Not having fancy things. Guess what? I got a fancy car. I bought a car from the factory with my name on it. It's a one of a kind. It was built just for me. Big deal. You know what happens after a couple years? It's just a car. It's just a thing that I bought. Is it more important to my family and kids and friends and you guys? Not at all. I don't value it like I did when I was young. I thought that was the key to success. Having, a whole closet full of $1,000 suits or multiple $1,000 suits and then having fancy cars and having fancy houses because that's the thing they sell you on TV. It's not true. It's an absolute waste of your time because no one cares. No one cares if you're driving down in a Mercedes. No one cares and all that. And if they only care about you because of that, then they ain't going to be there when you don't got it. They ain't going to be there. They don't care about you. They don't care whether you exist or not. People who are very wealthy and who are in that mindset of if you're not wealthy like me, you're not valuable, those are not people you want to be around because they don't care whether you live or die. And that's really scary. It's really scary to be surrounded by those people because in the moment in which you need the help the most, they ain't going to be there. They ain't going to be there for you. I can tell you. When I had lots of money, man, I had lots of friends, right? They all wanted to go to the river and we'd party and I ran a 30 Sea-Doos for everybody because I had lots of cash and I rent boats and we'd go party and have a great time and whatever. And then when it ain't on the gravy train no more, boom, I never heard of those people again. They never called me back once. When I got sick and whatnot, they never called me. Now, some of my friends did. My friends who were there before I had all that money, the friends who are always there for me, who I could call on the phone right now, and they'll fly anywhere from the world, and they're all over the world. I have friends who are pilots, who are lawyers, who are doctors, gone on to do a lot of different things in their life, and I can call them right now, and they'll come anywhere in the world, and if they call me right now, I will press in stream, and I will leave, and I will get on a plane, and I'll go wherever I need to be. Those are the people, the very rare people. And you're going to find 1, 2, if you're lucky, you find 5. If you find 5 to 10 people who are like that in your life, you are incredibly, incredibly lucky because it is very difficult. I try to be that friend to them and I expect them to be that friend to me, right? If you want to be my friend, you got to be on that level. Like that. So there we go. So we call that a bit of kids talk there, everybody. Now's a good time to do a battle. Let's go. To battle. What up, The Walker? Thanks for coming in, hanging out in the stream. We're having a little real talk right there, a little kids talk, a little fun there. We're going to go ahead and do a battle right here. Let's fire it up while we're doing some No Man's Sky as well. Now, the cool thing is, while I'm sitting there talking to you guys, you know what's happening in the background in No Man's Sky? It's collecting me tons of loot. That's what I love about it. That's what I love about doing that, setting and forgetting it, right? You set it up. You let it run. It's doing all the work for you while you're doing something completely different, right? While you're sitting there talking in the chat, it's off collecting me tons and tons of loot. Now, we'll get back into it here in a second. Again, I like to come in and inspire people. I'm not bragging. I'm not doing that kind of stuff. I have nothing to brag with anymore. I have barely any money. I spend it all on my kids. I don't buy fancy toys anymore or fancy cars. I still have the same car that I talk about. It's 25 years old. It sits out in the driveway. I don't do anything with it. I don't even drive very much anymore because of my vertigo. I can't drive more than like 30 minutes before I become kind of dangerous on the road. So I try to avoid driving. So my wife does a lot of driving, which is funny because I used to drive all the time. My wife used to not drive at all. She didn't get a driver's license until she was 25. I know, crazy, right? Most of us, when we're kids, we're like, we want to get our driver's license, 16, 18. I got mine at 18. And then from then on, I was just driving everywhere. I would get on a road and I say, where's this road end? And sometimes those roads are like 8, 10, 12 hours, man. They're a long run. Because, when you're young, you have lots of free time. Open the captain's chest. Let's see. Grind some rewards. Let's see. Reaper, EMZRT, Riverdog getting some love. And then Riverdog with the double roll there. That was a 12 and 12. MVP. All right. Another boss down. Getting you guys some boss loot. Let's see. Oh, high side. I'm feeling high side because that's going to get us the most loot. And then we'll circle around and get him there. Yeah, let's go high side. Let's get another battle going on. We need to eventually use our Templar again, but that's got a long way. That'd be like into the stream before we use that one again. Let's go ahead and use our Archer. Yeah, right up here. We'll get right in these guys' face. We'll be able to shoot them right in the very beginning there. Wipe those dudes out. Now come and join us, everybody. You'll find that link in the chat. I was pressing it. I didn't mean to press it that time. We'll go ahead and find that link in the chat. Find me or Captain Kismet. You can come join us for some battles. Now, getting back to No Man's Sky. Hopefully I inspired you guys to go do what you love to do every day. I'm living proof that you can come back from even the toughest situations, everybody. And my life is a constant dizziness. Dizziness and being tired all the time. And sometimes people come in and say, Kismet, you look tired. And I say, hey, sleep apnea. Yeah, it's going to make you tired all the time. But you have an option. You always have an option. You have an option to give up or to get up and stop whining like a baby. Get up and make the most of what you can do, right? That's all you can do in life is make the most of your situation, right? And if you're in a bad situation, try to get out of that situation somehow, right? Just little steps. Sometimes it takes a long time. Like me, I'm still working on my health. 6 years later, I'm still, every single day, I have to keep it in my number one thought of, okay, what are we going to do today to help our health today? What are we going to do? We're going to keep hydrating. Keep our water, right? Not drink so much soda, because that's going to give me 10 more pounds back. No thanks, I'll pass. If I want a little soda from time to time, that's fine. But again, I feel like the more sugary stuff that you're eating, and that's really my only vice, everybody, is sugary stuff. I don't do drugs. I don't drink excessive alcohol. I can't drink alcohol anymore because I'm already dizzy. I'm already going to fall down without drinking the alcohol. So that's okay. I've had plenty. You guys can have my extra now. And again, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm not addicted to anything. I don't take medicine every single day anymore, which is great. I used to take stuff for my what is that called? Gallbladder problem that I had, gallbladder pain, and then I found out it was giving people heart attacks, so I stopped taking that. And so I'm lucky in that way. In that way, I don't have to take medicine every single day for blood pressure or anything like that. Because I really have lost a lot of weight, and that weight has affected greatly how well my health is and how much I can do. Now, I've got more to go. As always, you're always a work in progress as a human being, I find, both in trying to be a decent human being and also keeping yourself upgraded and keep yourself functional as a human being, right? It's not easy. It's not easy because it's very easy to fall into that cycle, right? Where you're eating too much food, you're getting overweight, and then it's hard to lose it. You lose a little bit of it, and then you gain it back, and then that cycle is really tough to get out of. No matter how much they tell you how easy it is on TV, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. It requires a lot of your effort. That's for sure. A lot of my effort every day. When my wife's drinking, she's drinking a root beer, and I'm thinking, man, I could sure go for a Dr. Pepper right now. And I'm thinking, nah, I don't want the weight back. No, I'll pass. It's like pain or reward, right? Pain or pleasure, right? Do I want the pain of having that 10 pounds back within like a couple months, or would I rather just go without the soda and then have something sweet like like a little cookie or something like that, an Oreo or some M&Ms, things like that. And I don't buy gigantic amount of candy anymore. I buy little packs of candy. And so if I do want something sweet, like a little thing of M&Ms or whatever, which is my favorite candy, I will do that instead. That's a much better way of doing it. Don't keep it around. If you keep it around, you're going to eat it. But if you don't keep it around your house, then you got it. You don't got it to eat. Trade is acceptable. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and check this guy here. Now, while we were talking also, we already talked to this guy because, look, the metal plating is already gone. So nobody there. Oh, look at this cool ship. Oh, that's a C-class. Cool looking ship. Like that one. Let's talk to this guy. What you got, bro? Now what we're doing is we're buying some stuff here. Oh, I forgot. My inventory's full. What else we got? We got magnetized ferrite, silver. Nothing there other than more plating. So we'll switch over to our ship. We'll tell it to grab more plating. Oh, it's also inventory full over there too. Wow, okay. We're inventory full on both here and on the starship. Yeah, nice. Okay, well, we're going to call that done then. Let's go ahead and go up here. So not only can you buy it from the auction hall, which is what I'm showing you there, but you can also buy it from just random people who are coming in and out of there to get yourself tons and tons of loot. Now you're like, well, Kismet, what are you going to do with all these plates you got right here? Well, we're going to go back to our base. We're working our idiom farm here. And so we don't have to actually manually make them through ferrite dust. Because I'm making so much cash now, I can literally just buy them without having to make them and without having to press, 100 times on the keyboard to make plates. I can literally just go in and buy it and then go make the thing, which makes me even more money because it's like reinvesting your money, right? Reinvesting it and then getting a return on it. That's always a good thing. On your web page under Gaming PC Setup. Oh, the oil. The oil is for your fans. I got it right over here. Hold on. Let me grab it. I'll be right back. Right there. 3-in-1 oil. What happens, especially on my gaming PC where I have a big, large fan on the top, what happens is it starts making noise. It starts going after a while. What you do is you open up the center where it has the ball bearings and you put a little dab of oil in there, and then you don't hear nothing. you hear a whole lot of nothing, everybody. That's what that oil is all about. You're welcome. I just solved a problem for you that you may have in the future right now, and that's why they call me Kismet. Also, if you have like a ceiling fan, I also use it on my ceiling fan in my bathroom because it starts, it's supposed to make a noise when you turn it on to cover the sound of you going to the bathroom. But after a while, it starts to rattle. It's like, and ours was doing that. Now, I could replace it. But you know what I could do? I go get a few dollar thing of oil there, and I took the whole thing off. I took out all the dust. I used a brush to brush off all the dust and whatnot because it hadn't been cleaned in, I don't know, 10 years. And I cleaned it up. I put a little oil in there. I put it back up there. Sounds perfect. It sounds brand new. Right? A lot of things in life that people replace just need to be repaired or updated or fixed. Like, see, if when I start hearing that fan, I could have just replaced the fan. But you know what else I could have done? I could have went and got myself a little bit of oil, pulled up the sticker that's up there, put a little bit of oil in there. Watch out it doesn't get on the rest of your components. I put a rag under it to make sure it doesn't drop and touch any of my other components in my computer, right? And make sure you're using static free. So you don't static your stuff, right? Static electricity is the number one way of a person can kill their computer other than dust. Dust actually is the number one killer of computers. Did you know that? It's the number one. So you dust out your computer every 6 months or so, depending on how much dust you typically collect on your machine. But usually in the summertime, June, and then also in December, I will actually take all my machines, especially my PCs, and I will take them and I will open up the case and I will blast it out with a can of air. If there's any tough spots, I'll get that with a little bit extra. And then if I need to brush it or whatever, I also have a little mini vacuum. That is so incredibly useful when you have computers or when you have an office or what do you have ever. Every couple weeks or so, I will go and I will take that and I'll run it along and just zip up all the dust. Also, you can use it on your keyboard. Get all that stuff that you've been dropping in there. I know you have. I know you've been dropping stuff in your keyboard because you make the mistake of eating over your keyboard. It'll just zip that right up out of there. It's just real small. It's only about that big. And that's why I put that stuff on there, by the way, everybody, is I get questions about that. Kismet, how do you fix your fan? Kismet, how do you do this? How do you do that? And that's why I put that on there because I know I'm going to get a question about it. Just like you asked, what's that oil about? Now you know how to fix your fans and know how to fix any fan that you have around there or any moving part. Because you might say, hey, I'm going to use some WD-40. Well, WD-40 is actually not oil. It is actually a temporary friction reduction, right? Great example, if you're in the winter, right? And you are in a place where it snows or fills up, maybe even covers your car with snow, and you're trying to get in and out of your car. I'm sure some of you already know this, but a great thing to do is take WD-40 and put it on the outside rim of the inside of your door so that your door doesn't get stuck when you try to open it in cold weather. So you just put it on the inside of your door and then door opens right up. No problem. Because the degreaser there, or the grease that you put in there with WD-40 will keep it from bonding. It makes it much easier to get in and out of your car. Great thing also, like when you're using Rain-X, same thing. Creates like a little temporary shield over your window. So when it's raining, the rain just runs off, which is great. But of course, you have to keep reapplying it a lot. So of course, it makes them lots of money. But it does work great, especially when you want your family and your kids and wife and all that stuff to be safe. I put it on my wife's car. I don't put it on my car because I rarely ever drive it. But I put it on my wife's car so that if it is raining, she can see she's not in any danger, right? Make sure you keep your blades nice and well. Check them every now and again. Make sure everything's working there, and so on. I can tell you 1,001 things that I've solved manually by figuring that stuff out, right? Figuring it out. Now, of course, today you can just Google it or go to YouTube and find a video about it, and that makes it really powerful. You got to think that the world's knowledge is cataloged for everybody to access. Right, that wasn't the way it was when I was a kid. You go look it up in an encyclopedia. You would have to find someone in your local area who would know how to solve that problem. But now, pretty much any problem that you've run into, typically someone else has already ran into that problem. Like I've run into that fan problem. Now you know because I ran into that problem, and I know that oil works really great. You just need a little bit of it too. You don't need to jam it on there. It's just a couple drops, and bam, it'll make a difference. And that fan, I barely even hear it over there. It's just barely whirling, and it solved that problem for just pennies on the dollar. And that's what I like to do. I like to have good return on my investment. All right, look at this planet over here. This one's cool looking. Let's go ahead and fly out here. Let's go into build mode like this. We'll take a look at this planet. I get out the door. There we go. Look at this. Isn't that awesome? The big thing there. You got the other planet here. You've got volcanic activity going on over here. Just too cool on this one. Now, this is one that I still need to work on. This is regular. Look at those animals wandering around over here. This is still one I need to work on, but look at this view, everybody. They did such an amazing job on revamping this game. This one I still need to work on. We'll come back to that one. That's just my regular idiom farm right here. S-idiom farm here is a work in progress. See a WIP. We'll either come back to that or we'll never get around to it. It'll be one or the other. One or the other in there. So there you go. The WD and WD standing says for water displacement, if I remember right. Well, there you go, real. I don't think I've ever looked that up. But if that's right, I will stand it. New changes in No Man's Sky? Oh, yeah. It depends on how long it's been you played. I mean, they are absolutely crushing it. They are crushing it on their updates, man. They already have 2 updates already this year. They're just getting started. We're just getting started in the year. They already got 2 updates already fired out. And so we've got the new Expeditions update where you can go with your friends and do all sorts of fun stuff. We were talking about that a little bit last time. But let's go ahead and bring it up. Let's talk a little bit about it. It'd be good point here to talk a little bit more about this particular update. Let me go back to my page here with the Expeditions update. So some of the things that they've done in this particular update, and again, if you have not played this game in a while, guess what? You get all the updates for free. No DLC, no expansion packs or microtransactions or any of that crap. They basically said, look, if you bought our game, you get all of our game. You get everything. So if you bought it when it first came out and you're like, ah, God, this game sucks. And then now you getting like a 50 times enjoyment out of this game because they have added so much to it. So they added milestones to the game while you're out doing expeditions and stuff like that. And I go ahead and bring that up for you to look at here, milestones, as you're going along. So you have different journey milestones and things like that that you do. And as you're going along, you can go ahead and take a look at these different things that you're trying to do, like, say, adventure or whatnot. You can also go in and look at your different stuff here, your Gex and all of that, which you could do before. But I love the journey milestones, which are really cool. You can also go in and fully complete different phases of the game, where you you reach your starship, you take off, you do all of that stuff, and you can go ahead and kind of go on that journey, right? So they got a bunch of that stuff in there. They also got space station mission overhaul, where your mission agents, which you get greater depth in info on those. When you're at your space station and whatnot, you do a bunch of mission stuff. And I'm just looking through it here, reading off what they come through. Of course, they got mission patches. They got mission target sweeping, which is really cool. That's in this right here. So when you're in your missions, you can sweep across and get that going in expeditions. I feel like that's really super cool. If you notice down at the bottom of the screen down there, you can see that there's a different style of analysis mode. So if I press 1 and 3, right, it'll just go ahead and go target sweep mode. This is the new mode, right? So you can go ahead and sweep around to look for your different targets and your different missions that you're trying to work on. As well as you have your standard analysis mode. And then also I have additional modes where I can search for gas nearby minerals, which is an A node, which I'm standing right next to it. That's what this node is an A node. As well as you can search for power, and then again our target sweep mode. So they've added that as well. I love the scanning in this game. It's really awesome. As well as they did add Twitch drops, where you can actually earn drops on the stream, but it went up. I missed the whole opportunity to do drops because I was busy taking care of my real life stuff. But they did have drops between April 1st and April 5th as well. I would have loved to do that for you guys, but just did not have enough time. As well as they have different weekend events. They have rendezvous points. They have explorer ship enhancements. Basically, they really updated the look of a lot of the ships and stuff, or the explorer ships anyway. And then expeditions that you go on with your crew, right? And we're going to be getting into all of that. We're going to be doing some multiplayer once we get through this particular playthrough. Then we're going to be doing all of the multiplayer and all of that. Also, Sentinel, let's see, Sentinel combat enhancement, quality of life stuff, like they got a pinning system where you can provide more accurate, helpful guidance while crafting products. So they've updated their pinning system. That's going to help you a lot on that as well. A number of recipes have been rebalanced. I see that. Cross-platform. This game is cross-platform, so you can play PS4 to PC. Xbox, PlayStation, right? PS5, you can play via Steam, the Windows Store, even on Oculus if you want to, or other VR components as well. Very, very cool. They've also refreshed the HUD, as you can see when I go around and I'm looking at stuff. You can see that they've updated the HUD as we go around from that old school like health HUD that they had before to the new one, which you can see up there. In that upper corner. I like that one way better. I feel like it's way better than the one before. They really did a great job again. And then performance updates, new rewards. I mean, I go on and on. New markers that you can set, right? So all marker missions, building resources are restyled for greater clarity and definition with their visual style, so your markers are easier to understand, which is something they definitely need to work on. Cross-save rewards. Again, I'm still going. Streamlined jetpack. That's just from this one update. I'm not talking about all the update. I'm talking about just this update. Just this one, right? So we got a new jetpack, which is cool looking. Let me get into my fly mode. I love the new look of the jetpack, too. It's pretty cool. I also got a thing on there, too. But you can change the look of your jetpack back here, right? I've got the standard jetpack. But they've got a new streamlined look to the jetpack as well, which you can turn on, which I really like. But you can keep the standard one, too, the standard backpack like I have. And a lot of multiplayer missions. You got a bunch of what's called gold vectors where you can go in and get a gold edition of your starter ship, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, you can go in there and read all the patch notes. In fact, how about I just go ahead and throw it in the chat, and you can see that that is just the single update. That is just this update that they've done. Now, they have literally done just an insane job, an amazing, amazing job of updating their game. They are putting everybody to shame in the fact that they provide free updates and they're providing them on a real regular level that make a really huge difference in their game. And you do that, man, I'm going to shout your game from the mountaintops. That's for sure. That is for sure. So, of course, go in, try it out, take a look at what they got new there. You can look at some of the previous updates, like the Origins update. Then they had a Next Generation update. Then they had a Companions update as well. And now they have the Expeditions update. And we could sit and talk about updates for hours and hours and hours. I mean, there's that much to talk about. Now, I bought the game very early on, not when it released, though, after the first update. And I've played it on and off ever since. And it's actually, I usually jump in just to see how it's doing. I gotta get back in my thing here. I got a superheated storm coming in. I just see how it's doing along the way, but now it's what I call fully playable. It's fully fun to go in and play the game. There's so much to do in it. There's so much fun to be had in the game itself. Now, let's get back to work over here. Now, I collected all of those plates so that I can go in and I can expand my collection system here. So next time when we log in, we're going to get even more loot. And that's kind of my big goal today, is just to add more, to collect our loot, to see what's going on here, to look a little bit at those updates and whatnot, and then to kind of get it going on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add more of these. Now, I would love it if they added another system where you could snap all this in. This could definitely use another pass. We could snap all these together, kind of like you can in Satisfactory. We could turn on a grid. Then you got a nice line that shows you when it's lined up and all of that. That would be awesome. But I just, do the best I can. And I could sit here for, an hour and make it perfect. Make it perfect if I want. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to because it doesn't, my time is my most valuable thing. And so I'm only going to spend so much time on it to where I feel like I got a benefit. Now, see what happens when you're looking at it from the side? It looks like it's not it's not lining up. So let's try that a little better from the side here. Let's go ahead and rotate this a little bit. And snap rotate. Let's see. Alt rotate. Just a little bit, just to try to get it lined up as best we can. Let's do this a little closer. Right, we're trying to pack these in here into this space as best we can. And then we're going to connect these together, and what it's going to do is add to the ability for it to collect tons and tons of loot while I'm not online. And you're like, well, Kismet, you're already making 200 million. How much more do you really need? I don't know. As much as I want, right? As much time as I want to spend doing it. Oh, man, I keep pressing the wrong button there. As much as time as I want to spend doing it is as big as I can make this. And I've made one that made me $500 million every time I log in. We may or may not get to that again here. But I definitely want to make sure I connect all of these in. Otherwise, they're not going to be storing even more loot. Again, remember, you have diminishing returns on this on your extraction, but on your storage, you don't. On your storage, you can just keep adding more and more storage, and it will keep collecting and collecting for longer and longer periods of time. So if you let it go for like a week, you could have a billion, a trillion if you really wanted to get crazy. If you really want to spend that much time doing it, I keep pressing to get out of there, but I'm not. I meant to just back arrow instead of hitting escape. Escape is like the standard thing. Now, if you notice that I'm inside the building, so the weather's not affecting me, and I can just go in here and add another row. And we're going to just use up all of our plates that we just got. By the way, not only is it going to use the plates that are on my character, but it's also going to use the plates that I put on my ship automatically. One of the great things about having a ship with a lot of cargo is the fact that you can put a lot of resources on there and use those resources for building and for expanding your bases like I'm doing right now. This is very not straight, but oh well. Do the best we can do. Best we can do with the amount of time we want to spend on it. Oh, and there we go. And then we're done there. All right. And then we'll connect all of these together. All right. Now, just connecting those together doesn't do anything, everybody. It just connects those together. But you got to tie them into the rest. So I'll usually come here to the end and make sure that these are all tied together and that all the rows are tied together. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a redundant connection between multiple rows just to make sure that even if it was not connected in there, somehow if I missed it or whatever, I will definitely have a connection between all of these items together. Another way I'll know is it was about 190,000 before, and now if I go in here and I look, how much is it now? 215,000. That's over 200 million. We're going to make every single time, so almost $250 million. We'll make that every 54 hours without even have to be in the game. And so there we go. We got that done. Now let's go ahead and see if we can get some other stuff done as well. We're going to bounce back to my primary base, Tycoon HQ here, which actually I've found 3 paradise planets in this playthrough. 3 of them already. I know, it's crazy. We barely even started. It is what it stands for. Well, there you go. That's basically what it does. It works great for that. It works great as a temporary degreaser. Sometimes it also works great for... if you got like a little cart. I had a cart that squeaked for years, and I thought, why haven't I just used some WD-40 on that cart? And then it stopped squeaking after that. Never squeaked again, which is pretty great. Now, again, what will happen though if you use WD-40 on stuff is it'll work for a while, but then eventually that problem will come back. But if you use the 3-in-1, that lasts a lot longer, and so you probably will not have to oil it again. Like my fan in my computer, I will probably not have to oil that again, unless it goes for another 10 years, which I seriously doubt. I have a feeling I'm going to replace my computer definitely within the next 10 years. But because, you know, PCs, their lifespan is a lot shorter than a lot of other products, right? And they design it that way. They want you to get the the latest thing and the latest update and whatnot. But I always buy like the medium level item of whatever it is. I don't care if it's a vacuum or whatever. I'll buy that kind of price versus return on your investment. Like if you buy a cheap vacuum, you're going to buy another one of those in a year or two. But if you buy a medium level vacuum, then maybe it'll last 3, 4, 5, 10 years. You'll get out of it, and then you'll buy another one, right? And the same thing with computers, right? If you buy a low level computer, guess what? Within a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever, you're going to buy another one. If you buy a medium level computer, then usually you've got maybe 2 to 5 years, maybe maximum, in that computer before you'll probably want to upgrade or at least add a new video card or whatever it is to it to upgrade it, or maybe SSD if you haven't gone SSD yet. And then eventually you will need to replace it with something else because, of course, new technology and new graphics, and yours will be obsolete and worth basically nothing. Most computers and cars are among the worst investments in your life because the second you drive that car, that brand new car off the lot, it's worth $5,000 less. So you're paying $5,000 just to drive it off the lot. That's what you're paying. So that's why used cars are a much better idea because they've already depreciated that value. So you're getting a better return on your investment. Now, of course, used cars are also a risk because you don't know what kind of crazy maniac was in that car before you as well. So it's kind of hard to know one or the other. Now, as you can see in here, we've got some ferrite dust running. So we're going to go ahead and do some more of this here where we go ahead and grab this rusted metal. Now, another thing that's a little bit annoying about the game is the fact that I have to go into my storage here and grab my ferrite dust or my rusted metal out of my storage. Let's put that other stack in there so that I can convert it, right? And I have to scroll down through all of this so I can get that thing. It just bugs me after a while that I have to go. And I mean, if it's at the top, it's real easy like that. But if it's way down here at the bottom, then I usually have to remember where the little circle is and then click my way to it like that and then get the actual item I'm looking for. Let's get some silver too while we're at it. And then some gold right there. Now, of course, the more you have in there, the easier it is to find where it's in the list. Now, let's go ahead and go to the first one here, and we're going to go ahead and start converting some more stuff. We're going to go ahead and convert it our rusted metal. Remember, rusted metal, that's 10,000 rusted metal. It's going to convert into 20,000 ferrite dust, but it only does 4,095 in any one cycle. So I'll have to begin it. It'll run for 21 minutes, and I'll come back and I'll start it again, right? I'll do another cycle. As many cycles as it takes till it finishes it. Now, I can do some more gold, but I can also do some oxygen here, which is going to convert into carbon. Again, I have 9,000, so I can create about 10,000 of it because it's at a 1-to-1 ratio, but it can only do a maximum of 4,000. Did you know that in the survival mode, the harder mode, it only does 250 maximum, even on the big one. It only does 250. That's painful, everybody. That's painful. That's why I stopped playing that. Because if you want to do mega bases or you want to do a bunch of stuff, it is just way too tedious for me. Now, another thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put some silver in there and then combine that with gold. What that's going to do is make me 4,000 platinum. Now, that is at a ratio, again, 1-to-1 over here, so we can make about 10,000 platinum. And then we can take that platinum and we can convert it into nanotites, which allows us to unlock all of, or a lot of the stuff in the game, including upgrades and things that we use for our ship and for our vehicles. So that's why you'll see me use silver and dang. And that's why I have all of those farms running all the time. They're constantly running, so I can go ahead and just pick up those loot, put it in my converters, and let those converters run. Now, I also have more converters back at my spaceship as well, and we've been expanding the spaceship up there. We'll probably expand that just a little bit more. But we want to go ahead and do something else over here. We want to go ahead and scan for a drop pod. And let's go ahead and get that going, and then we'll do that battle. So let's go ahead and look for a drop pod. Aha! There's one detected over that way. Now check out my base, everybody. I took this over. That's my base. That's my base. You can actually take these over. As you can see, I've got my storage over there. But you can take over these little landing spots. These are new to the game. If you have not seen these, well, fairly new anyway. These came through a while ago. But as you can see, it's got a little landing spot on this beautiful paradise planet with no weather. Sentinels don't bother me. There's no toxicity or anything like that. I can literally just stand here or run in the world as far as I want to go and not have to worry about really anything other than keeping my oxygen up in my oxygen tank. I can also look for ships as they're coming in and out. There's a B there. There's a B there. Again, you can scan the ships instead of running over there and then looking at the, talking to the guy every time you want to get the ship. Just hold down F, roll over the ship. Boom, there you go. You can know whether it's an S class or C class or whatever. And if you do find something you like, then you run over there, hopefully before it flies away, and you're good to go. There's also a circle one that I have too. It's pretty awesome. I love getting all of these set up and take those over as my primary base. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get on our ship over here. Now, this particular ship I have right here is an A class. I've not bought the S class yet, but if I do see an S class, I'll buy it because I have 700 million on me right now. But again, that's one of the fun things about the game is that it's very random. You can play through multiple times, and I've played through, I don't know, 10, 20 times. I've played through the entire game. And so as you're playing through, it's going to be random. You might not find that S class that you found in the last time. I mean, you can cheat and look it up on the internet, and they'll say, hey, this is where you can find this particular thing. I never do. I let this story unfold as I play. Right? I don't need to shortcut. I don't need to glitch. I don't need to save and reload 500 times. I don't need to do that. I just let it unfold as I go. Let's go ahead and head toward this drop pod. And once we get to this drop pod over here, now it's only going to take 22 minutes. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to let my thing fly. I'm going to AFK. I'll be back in 22 minutes. Just kidding. Just kidding, everybody. We're going to go ahead and go up here into the atmosphere. Up there. Scared you for a second, didn't I? Scared you for a second. We're going to go up here in the upper atmosphere so we can use our warp engine. And instead of 20 minutes, it's going to take a few seconds for us to go ahead and zip over here to the other side of the planet. And then now we're going to go into the suborbital flight. They've revamped all of the graphics in the game, the way that the clouds are, the way the planets look. They've added tons more variety to the game. Incredibly well done. This is an absolute buy for me, everybody. I know that you're going to get your value out of it if this is your type of thing where you collect loot and you do space battles and you like giant ships and you like to do missions and I just go on and on and on and on and on. You like to tame animals and do all sorts of fun stuff. Look how beautiful it is. Now, you don't see it as beautiful as I am. I'm playing in 4K, right? I'm playing in 4K and every little bit of detail is super beautiful and super sharp. Now you're seeing it in 1080, and the reason why is that my capture card is only in 1080. I'm hoping Elgato one day sponsors the stream for that 4K card. But I'm looking at it in 4K. If you'd like to see what I'm seeing right now, you can go onto my YouTube channel. You can go click on that link over there, hit the subscribe while you're over there, and you can search for Kismet 4K No Man's Sky, and you can actually see it in 4K. I recorded it in 4K to show you what it looks like, and it looks amazing, everybody. It looks amazing in 1920 by 1080, but I've got my graphics cranked. I do have an NVIDIA 1080, which is a really, really decent card. You can see I've got it at 3840 by 2160. I've got it triple buffered. I've got all of the stuff turned on to the point in which I've got it maxed out. Now, I don't do wide field of view. I usually leave that in there. Also, the blur amount, I don't mess with that because that does affect my vertigo sometimes. But you can see that I've adjusted it down in some ways, right? Like shadow qualities and stuff like that. I typically like it to be ultra all the way up like that, right? I like it to be maxed out. And then, of course, we've got all of our stuff in. We've got 16 times there all the way up right there. And then GTO here is a ground truth ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion is when something is behind something else and it's causing realistic shadows. If you're into 3D animation and stuff like that, you probably already know about object occlusion or ambient occlusion and whatnot. So basically, it shadows around it. It says it right there too. So it does good shadows around it. There we go. Account for occlusion and light, creating non-uniform shadows that add depth to a scene. This setting only affects GPU format. So I got it on standard, or you can put it on enhanced or high or ultra. You know we're going ultra, baby. You know we're going ultra with everything. Let's go ahead and apply that. And it quit out of the game. And it closed out. No, we'll go ahead and click on it right here, I think. Did it really quit out? Very rarely does it ever quit. Come on. Yeah, it actually did. It actually quit out of the game. I crushed the game, everybody. I crushed it. All right, well, we're reloading the game. Let's go ahead and probably why I had those set because I have the GeForce thing, which actually sets all my settings for me. So it turned those back down. I just changed it the other day because I was in 1920 for another game, and then when I change it back, sometimes it changes my settings. But no worries. Let's go ahead and do a battle while we're waiting. To battle! All right, time for a battle. Let's fire that up. Figure out what's going on with No Man's Sky there because it just literally hit it behind there. We'll fire it up again. Normally when you change your graphics settings drastically, it's a good idea to quit out of it and relaunch it like Fallout 76 and a lot of other games like that. When you do change your graphic settings, it's a good idea to quit out, relaunch, get back in, and keep on a-rocking. Keep on a-rocking in the free world. Now, we don't have to worry about it, everybody, because we did go in and out of our ship. And whenever you go in and out of your ship, it does save your game. Though you should save quite often if you're just building stuff and doing that kind of stuff. You definitely want to save. But we recently went in our ship and we're flying around. So we'll be fine. Open the Captain Shaz. Grant some love to you guys. Riverdog, Reaper, and Rotisserie G all get some love. And Riverdog coming in MVP of that round. Let's go ahead and start up another battle. Get you guys some more loot here. Again, we're going to go Archer right there in the center of the screen. Try to get that Archer finished. That'd be awesome when we get that Archer done. All right, back to some No Man's Sky. Let's see. I like to use the N1 card, N1 video card and CPU. It's usually like 20% of the cost for 85% of the power. Hey, I like good return on my investment. Always good. It's what it stands for. I guess this was a good time to start playing No Man's Sky. Absolutely, there, Mike. Absolutely. Oh my God, it is so beautiful. Now, the more you crank up your, oh look there, it's my gopher octopus. The closer I get, the more detailed it gets. I mean, it's super detailed on my screen. Again, it's going out to you guys. It's going to go out to you guys compressed at 1080. And depending on what size you have it at, you're not seeing it at the massive detail that I'm looking at. Now, you don't need a 3090. 1080 will probably do just fine. In my case, I've got it cranked up again. And let's make sure that it did take those options in there. There we go. Yes, all the options are at Ultra now. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a little bit of scroll lag. Even with a nice card that I have. If you had a 3090, probably wouldn't. But you have a little bit of, like when you lag like this, you have a little bit of blurriness to it as well. But you can adjust that over here. Oh, not graphics, but video options. You can go in and say motion blur amount. And you can go ahead and just turn that down. And I see it's reset that down to 0. Then it's not so blurry and not so glitchy when you do it. The reason why I don't use motion blur in a lot of games that I play because I do have a constant vertigo and I'm always dizzy every minute. So that blurriness causes me to be even more dizzy. So you'll see me turn that off, which really makes it nice. And see, really fluid now too. So you don't have that blur effect every time you move. If you like the blur effect, more power to you. And look, there goes Worms in the ground too. Look at him go. It's just so beautiful, everybody. It's just so incredible. It's such an incredible technical breakthrough in gaming, I find. Right? Very, very awesome. Now, see, I used to throw this rusted metal away, but I don't anymore. I keep all that rusted metal. I keep it. All right, a little sodium nitrate in there. We'll go ahead and save. Do this waypoint action. And there we go. And we're going to go in here. And now what we did is we did a drop pod. Now these drop pods allow us to extend our inventory and add more to it. So I need antimatter housing in here, which is different, right? This is that's different than what it normally is. It's usually the actual antimatter itself. But right here we say sodium nitrate. And over here, carbon nanotubes. Now, look, that's different. See, I actually made a bunch of stuff. That used to be cobalt. So it's actually changed the meta of getting these since the update, since the last time we were in. So we can go in and we can make those things. We can go in and make some antimatter housing. Now, is it going to be the same every single time? Or actually, we can make our carbon nanotubes first. There we go. And then we can make antimatter housing. I don't know if that's going to be random now in there or what, but we'll go ahead and give it a try. There we go. Antimatter housing there. Oh, it's only one carbon nanotube. And now it's going to give us the ability to update our inventory. Now, your general and your tech, you can update. I usually do tech first. I usually buy some of the upgrades, and then I use my drop pods for the rest. The reason why, if I go and upgrade, say, my cargo slot right here, and I go to, say, a new system, and I'm going to upgrade it, it costs $900,000. And you're like, well, Kismet, you have $700 million. What do you care? I don't really care, but I could go and I could just, you know, especially with my ship right now, I could just buy inventory slots for my ship if I want. But I usually don't until I find that special S-class that I like, or I even have an exotic now I could fly, and I could update that one too, because with that 700 million, I definitely could expand all the slots and expand it, make it nicer, make it into an even nicer ship than it already is. But right now, what we can do is we can upgrade our suit. Now, this costs $100,000 unless you find them for free, which sometimes you do as you're wandering around collecting loot. But I usually cost about $100,000. So I'm basically saving $800,000 or almost $1 million every time I use a cargo pod versus when I go and I just buy it. Right now, again, I have tons of cash. I could just go and buy it. I could just go to more systems and do it. But I also like the adventure of tracking down these pods, and you never know what you'll run into or adventures that you'll run into along the way. So I like to do this, and I always do my cargo. I do tech first, then cargo, and then the very last is my general inventory. And that's because the cargo slots here are the most expensive to update. And so once I add it in there, now I can go ahead and take my sodium nitrate, put it in there, right? Oh, I had room. It's already full. It's already full there. Let's see, what else can we put in there? Oxygen. Do we already have oxygen in there? We do not. All right, so we'll put oxygen in there. And that'll just sit in my cargo slot for where I need it. Now, I made a bunch of antimatter so I could use it for these drop pods. But now that they've taken that out, we'll see. Now, of course, that'll beg the question of, let's see if the next one is the same. If it is, then we're going to need to switch our meta of what we're making for these drop pods into something else. So let's go ahead and decipher the drop pod. They fixed this a lot better, by the way, so that it doesn't accidentally get the same drop pod again, which really sucks. When you waste 100,000 and it tells you it's right there. All right, that sucks, bro. Whoa, something went by there. Something going underground. Where do we leave our ship? Over this way. Something about flying upside down that I really like. It really does mess with my vertigo, but it's fun. All right, same thing here, but that's going to take about 2 hours, so I'm just going to go ahead and AFK for a couple hours, and then I'll be back. Just kidding. Just kidding. Definitely not going to do that. We're going to go over here, up into the space, hit that warp engine. Boom, we're on it. We are on it. Let's do it. I think probably the next PC I get, I'm going to probably go to my buddies over there at Origin, get them to build me one. I had this one actually built from donations to the stream. We took all the pieces and parts, and I had one of the local guys, which actually no longer in business. He retired. He retired and said, okay, that's enough of that. And who built that machine for me. He did a really phenomenal job on it as well. He took a lot of pride in his work. That's what I like to see. People take pride in what they do and do a really good job at it. I like to support peeps like that. Oh, route. All right, running back over here. And I don't know, you don't really need to do this, but I don't know, it's just something fun to do every time you come into one of these. Just see what's inside. It's kind of like a, you know, little mystery box. What's in there? Microprocessor. One less microprocessor that we need to hunt down later. All right, and then let's see if these are exactly the same or do they vary. Let's see. Yep, antimatter housing, sodium nitrate, so it is the same. So we can do this one, we can do this one. So now we got to keep a bunch of extra antimatter housings on us. And so what I'm going to do now is go in my cargo slot. I'm going to take the antimatter out into here, and then I'm going to make a bunch of extra of our antimatter housings here. Now I can just hit D, and you're going to see the build number come down there. I'm going to build about 20 of them. Boom. And then notice I've got 10 and 10 on there. But if I put it in here, notice that that white line only goes halfway now. Because in my cargo slot, the biggest benefit of your cargo slot in the normal mode is all your stuff that's actually not your resources, including your antimatter housings, your nav data, all of that stuff. It gets double. You can hold double the amount in your cargo slot than you can in your normal general slot. So it's a much bigger benefit to put that in there. So I can have 20 antimatter housings on me instead of just 10. So very, very useful there. And then we're going to go ahead and upgrade this one. And then again, go to cargo, upgrade that. And now we got another slot we can put in there, right? What can we put in there? We can put our drop pod coordinate data in there if we want. But what's something that we're using all the time? How about some carbon? Sounds like a good idea. Let's put our carbon there. Now, I like to put like things like them together. Like you'll see me put my carbon and condensed carbon together, cobalt, ionized cobalt, all my ferrite dusts together, and so on. Now, the interesting thing is that oxygen becomes carbon, so you could do it that way as well, where you say, okay, oxygen becomes carbon, carbon becomes condensed carbon. You can go ahead and do it in order as well. Like if I had copper, I could put copper in there. Copper becomes chromatic metal, etc. Now, eventually, we'll go ahead and expand the rest of those, but we'll go ahead and just do one more because I noticed that I have one more on me. And we'll try to get that done. And then we're going to switch over to some Fallout 76. And then later on, we're going to do... also, this is a big stream today. This is a big mega stream. We're going to be doing some Overcooked All You Can Eat, which basically is Overcooked 1, 2, and then some new levels as well. So I can't wait to try that out. And then, of course, I'm going to play a ton of that with my kids as well. All right, did it get it? I didn't even look. All right. Did we do it? I don't think we clicked it yet. See, sometimes, yeah, I did. Decipher the drop pod coordinates. Where is it? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, it's directly ahead of me there. Okay, oh, it's directly to the north. Now, remember the middle mouse button if you're on the PC. Pick up your signal booster again. Now, I can just leave them all over the world if you want. Leave them all over the place, but I pick them up because I hate wasting resources. Leaving resources behind. And let's go ahead and follow our marker. How far away is it? 19 minutes. All right, well, let's go ahead and go first person. You're like, Kismet, how'd you do that? Well, I actually have it programmed to a key. It's in your menu. You can switch from first person to third person. And so usually when I'm going out of the atmosphere, it's actually better to be in first person, or if you're trying to find a planet. And then when I'm out of there, I like the cinematic view of being out behind my ship in third person. That's why I like every game to have both. Then I can choose what I want in the moment. Most of the time I'm in third person because I like the cinematic feel of it. But then when I'm battling or when I'm fighting or I'm trying to be more precise, first person is going to be way more precise than third person typically. Much easier to do that kind of stuff like that. How much time? We got 17 more minutes on that battle. We're going to go ahead and try to finish this up right here. Oh, Mike, thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate you becoming the latest Teamwork Tycoon here in my channel. Show some love in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate everybody who comes in, hangs out, and plays in the stream, hangs out in the chat, says hi, hits that follow button. Appreciate it big time. You are the guys, are the reason I get up every day. You're the reason I enjoy so much streaming and having fun playing games here on the stream as well. Working on my posture a little bit there, everybody. This chair is so comfy. I have a DX Racer, which I actually bought before I became a streamer, by the way. I bought it because I'm a gamer. And I looked at which seats are the best. And this one, while not cheap, it's definitely not cheap. I'm not going to say it's cheap. It is really nice, and I've had it for it's going on 7 years now. I actually bought it like a year before I got ill, and I had it here in my office because I have a lot of chairs, and I got one right over here that's a crappy chair. You know, the ones you pay $99 for at Office Max or whatever. And I bought a lot of chairs in my life, and this is the greatest one I ever have because what happens is you just like... I just like sink into it, and then I start to slink down naturally, and then so I'll sit up, and it has a lumbar support in the back too. So you literally you're just like, oh, this is the greatest. And it actually folds all the way back too, so you can, if you want to take a nap real quick while you're in your chair, maybe you're processing something or waiting for your factory to run or waiting for your resources to gather, you can just take a nap in your chair as well. So big recommended DX Racer. They are awesome. I love peeps with great products. Actually, they sent me a thing as well to become an affiliate for DX Racer, and I apologize to them. I have not gotten around to that yet. I will eventually put that down there. So if you do want to buy a DX Racer and also support the stream at the same time, go ahead. But I don't really care, everybody. I don't care if you buy it through an affiliate link or not. I never require that of people. But if you do, that's another 50 cents or maybe 10 cents, maybe a penny, that I can put in to the stream so I can do more giveaways and stuff like that. I can put every penny right back into it. So I love things that have double benefits. If you're going to buy a chair anyway, or if you're going to buy some on Amazon anyway, why not, right? Why not benefit some future giveaway that you may win by using the Amazon link down there or using affiliate links or whatnot? Because those are a great way of supporting your favorite streamer. If you're going to buy it anyway or you're going to get something anyway, might as well give the extra benefit to someone as well. And that's why I love codes and reduced codes and all that stuff, because it's a mutual benefit for everyone. It's a benefit for the company, it's a benefit for you, and it's a benefit obviously for the stream and for whoever wins that giveaway later on. So it's like a four times benefit out of one action. And I like to, again, compound benefits. All right, there we go. We upgraded that. Which one did I upgrade? Did I just upgrade my regular one or my cargo? I upgraded my cargo. Okay, good. I wasn't even paying attention there for a second. Let's see. What else can we put in there? Probably none of this. What are we missing in here that we want to put in there? Probably we can go ahead and now move our uranium into there. Or you know what? Let's use our sodium. Let's put our sodium in there. That's always a good one. Into our cargo slot. And now we'll start to keep our sodium. And of course, as we expand, we'll get more and more. Now, one of the problems right now is that I'm out of the item that I'm looking for, right? I'm out of the drop pods. And so I'll go ahead and put this down. And when I go in there, you'll see that won't be an option anymore. By the way, if you left mouse click, you can get past all this dialogue. So I can't choose that. But take a shot at it. You never know. You never know. You might find it by complete accident. It used to be where it would just find the next thing and the next thing. Oh, look, that has a marker. What's that marker all about? Oh, that's the one I just got. I was like, wait a minute, what's that? What's that new little marker there? What is that? Oh, a trading post. Oh, they changed the trading post markers. That's right. They did update all the markers. We talked about that earlier. I like that marker much better. All right, trading post. Let's go check it out. And so I take a shot at it. Sometimes you'll find drop pods just by scanning. We got to try. Oh, look at this. Fancy. Now, I find trading posts to be the best place in the game to actually find new ships. Because there's so many ships coming in and out here versus if you're in the space station, because they reduce the amount that come in and out of the space station. And especially if you're on an S class or on a three-star planet, let's say a blue planet, and then you can just check these ships as they come in and you just stand here. There's a C class there. This one's a C class. Of course, the richer the system, the higher chance of getting those S classes and exotics. And so I do have an actual trade base that I sit at on an S-Class blue planet when I'm looking for upgrades. Now, I could take over this and whatnot if I wanted to. Don't really care for it right now. Don't really need to do it, but we'll go in here and see if we find some tritium or anything else. We get more metal plating, but usually I do that once per login session. Upgrade my farms and stuff. What we got over here? A-class, not bad. Not bad. Now, sometimes I just, I could literally buy these and upgrade them to an S-class if I want to. I could go ahead and take my ship right now if I like the look of that, and I said, like, that's the one I want to keep forever. And I could go, because I have 700 million, I can go and I can upgrade it to S-class if I want to up at Space Station, if I so choose. Speaking of Space Station, let's go. I love that transition between the planet and into outer space. One day, hopefully, we'll get to do that in real life. And if I don't get to do it, at least my kids might get to do it. All right, we're going to go ahead and look around for the space station. I would imagine it's over here. Oh, there it is right there. We're going to warp our way on over there. Now, sadly, the space station was not right next to my Paradise planet, because that would have been the ultimate. To have your space station, Paradise planet, and then you can put your hub there along with your ship, and then everything is within flying distance. You just fly out of the planet and get whatever you need, as well as when you're on, say, the space station, whatever you want to fly down in your planet. You can do so, but in this case, not so much. Not so much. So, while this is running over here, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and AFK just to take a quick break. It's been a couple hours. I'm going to try to be good on my breaks today. And then when we come back, we'll go ahead and do a few more things here, and then we're going to switch over to some Fallout 76. If you want to join me, feel free to do that. But I'm going to feel free to enjoy some AFK highlights that I've worked very, very hard on, so that you guys can enjoy some of the best moments in my stream while I'm stretching my legs, and I'll be right back. Thank you for those World Raiders. I'm back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed those AFK highlights. I worked very, very hard on those. Even more coming down the road. Working so hard behind the scenes. I am one of the hardest working streamers here on Twitch. I do work 7 days a week on the stream as much as I can. Always adding more and more epic stuff for you. New stream avatars coming soon. Working on a bunch of other projects behind the scenes. New videos, new everything. I love iterating on the stream. I love making it more and more interactive, more and more fun for all of you who come in and hang out. Now, we went and flew up to our space station, and now we're ready to kind of look around. Again, every time I come into the space station, we go ahead and we take a look and see if there's anything in here that we want to buy, right? I already bought that, apparently. We also, by the way, these do respawn over time, so you do want to come back and check those. It does take a long time for those to respawn. But they do. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you guys in this particular playthrough is the fact that I could go right over here and I could go ahead and upgrade my ship right here. Augment inventory, or I can upgrade the class of my ship. So I can upgrade the class with 50,000 nanotites. You're like, oh my God, Kismet, that's way more than you could ever get. Not really. Not really. That's actually not that much. If you keep collecting your silver and your gold converted into platinum and converted into nanotites, over time you can collect 50,000 nanotites fairly easy. You do it over a long period of time. Not try to do it overnight. Now, there's other ways of doing nanotites as well that we could get 50,000 pretty fairly easily. Now, it only costs 15 million to upgrade my storage, so I can buy storage and extend the storage of my ship. But I know that I'm going to look and find the S-Class, or we might switch over to our exotic. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted. Maybe next time we'll pull out the exotic and start to update that as well. Now, we also have the basic ship, which you start with, which we're going to take that basic ship and we're going to max that one out as well, just for fun, just for no reason other than the fact that it's fun to have that basic ship, but have it as an S-Class and then have it as all of that. We'll get into that over time. So there we go. So we got that. Oh, I want to go to the auction hall too. Let's go to the auction hall over here. All right. Now, again, we're looking for that tritium or anything else we can find in here that we might need. Nothing in there that I need for right now. And then back to my ship. Oh, look at the new, wow, look at the new look of the Explorers. Ah, that's cool looking. Cool looking, bro. What kind of ship is it? The B class. Let's talk to this guy. Yo, dude, what do you got? Now, don't forget to talk to these guys as well, because they might have something that you need on them, and their inventory, as you can see, is different from what is in there. So if I need some phosphorus, go and buy some of that. Maybe I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to convert my sodium, so I can just buy some sodium nitrate. I'm not that lazy. I can be pretty lazy, though. Boom. But in this case, we'll be fine. Anybody else hanging out? No. See, and I find that the reduction of the space stations, of the ships coming in and out of the space stations, actually reduced my ability, my willingness to stay in the space station for more than a few moments. I come in, do whatever I need to do, and then I fly out because it's not worth me just sitting around there in that. Now we go ahead and fly around. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and pull up my thing here, my window, and pull up my anomaly. Oh, somebody wants to get rowdy. You won't want to do that. You don't want to bring it here. I'm telling you, you don't want to do it. Now, of course, they got space battle in this game, including space battle that includes your actual frigates and all of that stuff as well. We got these guys coming in. Let me see if I can pull my ship in real quick. Let's see if my ship going to help me out. Don't bring it here, bro. Alright, this guy. Now I'm playing with keyboard and mouse. I'd love to use my X52, which is the whole reason I bought it. It was just to play space games. I used to use it for Elite Dangerous, which is another great, fantastic space game, by the way. And eventually Star Citizen, once I get that one done, if they do in my lifetime. I will play that too. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and fly a little bit away from them and then turn around on them. I want to see, the slower you go, the more, the quicker you can turn. Then again, the more vulnerable you are to their attacks. Now, when you go and you pick up all that stuff, it's going to boost your shield back up again. So you want to take one out, go get your stuff, and then take more out. Now, watch out for these green guys. You want to hit them by accident, or they'll be after you. There we go. All right, and so we're in battle mode there. Now sometimes your ship gets a little screwed up. See, there we go. It went out of emergency mode, but your ship will actually help you. It'll shoot at the bad guys and whatnot, which I think is super cool. Now you go like, Kismet, what are all these ships here, man? Watch out, you're gonna get shot by all them ships. Those are my ships. I own all of those. I own every single one. And you're like, whoa, Kismet, how do you get so many ships? Well, first you become super rich, like me, in the game at least. And then you go on a spending spree, and you go buy yourself 25, 30 ships. And guess what? Now you got a whole fleet of ships to send on missions. Isn't that awesome? I think that's really, really cool. And of course, you know, the varying different levels of C, B, A, and then of course S. So C being the lowest, B, A, and then S class being the highest. And of course, above that would be your exotic and your living ships. But that is pretty awesome. So let's go back into our frigate here. And of course, you can see other ships coming in behind me as well. They do land in your main ship, so you can look for ships that way as well. And you can upgrade this ship and add all sorts of stuff. I don't think I've fully upgraded my frigate ever, because I usually get to a point where I'm like, okay, time for a new playthrough. And then we just start over again. But we can also go in here and look at these and see if there's any of these that were really nice that we might want to get. Look, that guy's got the starter one. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and run up into our frigate here. And we'll turn our light on. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I like to have as many things running when I'm not in the game, right? Because that's way more efficient. The most efficient thing you can do is have stuff running when you're not even playing. And so what we did earlier is we went and we sent a mission, right? We sent this Nosh one here on combat patrol, and it's going to take 5 hours and 45 minutes. And so let's go ahead and see how much time it's got left. We started it a couple hours ago. I think about 2 or 3 hours ago. And so we can look in and we can see how it's doing, right? And there we go. Speak to the commander. There we go. The expedition has covered 576 light years, and our pilot will take 3 hours and 18 minutes. So 3 hours, that's real time. 3 hours and 18 minutes from now. Now, that doesn't matter whether I'm in the game or whether I'm out of the game. If I'm out of the game, it'll still keep running. It'll still keep going as well. So we can also inspect the ships. We can go in. Sometimes they get damaged. You have to repair them. But we'll go ahead and leave that to go ahead and run. Now, since I have so many ships, and good time to save, too, while we're at it. Right there. Since I have so many ships, I can keep sending them out on missions. So let's go ahead and see if we can send more of them out on some missions here. View potential missions. Let's go ahead and send them out on the next one here, the 9 hours like we were going to try to do earlier. We're going to go ahead and do industrial, combat. We'll do a support, another industrial, another industrial. The more you send them on missions, by the way, the more they actually upgrade their class. Eventually, you can get to S classes just by sending them on missions. As you can see, it requires 250 tons of fuel. So let's go ahead and get back out of there. Let's go to our freighter. I don't know why I like making it. I can make it on me too, but I just usually typically make it on the freighter. Right now we have about 100 tons of it. We need 250. And so there's one in here that is 200 tons right here, but we need more dehydrogen, right, to do that. Now, dehydrogen, I find... Oh, thanks so much for the follow, Guns. Appreciate that. Thanks for coming our latest Teamwork Tycoon in the channel. One of the things that I typically you'll see me buy a lot of in the game, and let's see if we've got it over here. Yeah, this dehydrogen jelly over here. And this way I can take that dehydrogen jelly and I can convert it back into what I need it to be. So I can just go to my ship here. I can take dehydrogen jelly and I can turn it back in to dehydrogen there, right? So I can turn it on that one. Then I go to the next one. Oh, there's some nanotites that we were converting right there. There's 100 right there. And then again, we'll click on our ship. More dehydrogen. Doesn't matter which one you put it in. As long as you don't put 2 of them in there, you'll be fine. And so that's why I'm always on the lookout for tritium and dehydrogen jelly, just because it's easier for me to go ahead and just convert it back. This only takes a minute. It actually goes real fast in this conversion. I could actually just sit there and wait for it. But we'll have it doing as much as it can while we're doing something else. Oh, ship. And by the time I get to the end here, really, you can use just 2 of these and you'll be fine. But by the time I get to the end, there we go, 500 dehydrogen. Put that in there. And then go ahead, ship, and put that in there. Okay, so we got that done, and while that one's finishing, we'll go ahead and grab the rest of this. And remember, I just bought that from the vendor, so I bought a bunch of it from the vendor, so I don't have to go collect it, though you could easily just go collect it as well. It's up to you, how you like to play, whatever your jam is. And by the time I get to the end easily, or even before I get to the end, this first one should be done. This one? Oh, I missed that one when I was going by. Okay, there we go. So that is a bunch of dehydrogen now. We got about 2,900 dehydrogen and then some tritium. So we go ahead and make some fuel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make as many as I possibly can over here by just hitting D. And D is going to say, okay, you can make 6 of those. So 6 times 2 is going to be 1,200. That's 1,200 fuel I just made. Just like that. And then we're going to go over here. And we'll do that battle here in just a moment, everybody. We're going to finish this up first. We're going to get all of these queued up. And then we're going to do a battle. And then we're going to play some 76. So let's go ahead and get this going here. We're again going to assign all of our industrial stuff, our support to reduce the fuel cost. And there we go, 250 tons. Our fleet rating is 5, and this is a 3 mission, so I think we're going to be fine. Off it goes. All right, so now we have another mission. Now let's do some more, right? Now I typically like to do the ones that that last the longest, like the 26-hour ones. Let's go ahead and do that one. This way we'll let it run for quite a long time. But we need to know what kind of mission it is, right? This is a balanced expedition, so that means that I can put whatever I really want in there. I typically always start with a combat and always with a support. And then I choose what I want after that. Industrial is going to bring me back resources, and trades, of course, going to bring me back cash. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and do a little combo of both industrial and resource. And then we'll go ahead and go to the next one. What else we got? We got support. We got trades over here. We got some combats, more supports and whatnot. So if I just want cash, I can go trade, but I'm going to go industrial just to see if I discover some more stuff that I haven't unlocked yet in the game, because I did reset the game so that stuff that I have not discovered in this playthrough will not show up. Because sometimes when you're doing multiple playthroughs, it'll say, oh, well, you've already discovered this. So when you go, even at the beginning of the game, when you go and look in your discovery panel, it'll already have it already discovered in. I don't like that. I like it where it shows you, okay, this is what you've discovered in this playthrough only. I like that. Okay, so let's launch that. That's 800 tons of fuel. That's going to go for a while. Let's go ahead and go to 21 hours here. What is it? This is a discovery mission. 2 discovery missions there. And so I don't think I have any discovery ones in here. Yeah, I don't think I do, but that's okay. We'll do combat. We'll do support. Let's do a bunch of trades. Let's just go ahead and send them out there to do it. Now I need 650 tons more of fuel. So what did I run out of? I ran out of tritium. Tritium is what I need to keep that going. So let's go back over here. And we'll go in here. Now dehydrogen and tritium are paired. So if I take dehydrogen and I put it in there, it's going to make dehydrogen jelly, right? But, or put it back to dehydrogen jelly because I just got it from that. But what I can do is I can take tritium and I can put that in there, and that also makes dehydrogen jelly, right? Or dehydrogen, I mean. Just a standard dehydrogen. So I can use the tritium there. So how do I get tritium? Well, again, easy way is to look for it in the auction hall. When you're running around to try to find it so you don't have to keep collecting it, or you can go out and fly around and shoot all the tritium. It's a good idea to spend a good amount of time collecting a lot of tritium because once you have that tritium, then you have dehydrogen. You can send your peeps on tons and tons of missions. Now, I'm not going to worry about it. I send them on a couple missions. That should be fine. Eventually, we'll get to a point where we build a huge backlog of tritium, a huge backlog of dehydrogen as well. Those are 2 of the toughest ones, I find, especially early game, to create a giant backlog because you use a lot of it. You use a lot of it, especially when you get your frigate here or your freighter to send out your frigates into space. So that looks pretty good there. I think we're going to call it right there. We got tons of stuff going. Remember, we have all of our other extractors going with our, of course, copper and rusted metal and all of that stuff going. And so let's go ahead and head back to our primary base for now and see how our conversions are doing there. Maybe set some more conversions going, and then we'll come back. Now, don't forget to go out and retweet everybody. I saw Raz just retweeted over there. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the chat. Click that second link over there. Hit that retweet button. Hit that like button. And even that follow button. And that helps out the stream tremendously. And as well as earns you guys Kiscats. We need one more person to go over there and do that. And then you guys are going to get some additional Kiscats. To battle! All right, time for a battle while we're traveling there. Let's get another battle in. Let's fire it up. Oh, yeah, crushing it. Open the captain chest, grab some rewards. Let's see. Hair Luna, Reaper, all getting some love. And of course, Riverdog crushing it with the 20 kills. Look down. He put down every single unit. Way to go, Riverdog. That's why Riverdog is the MVP. He put down every single unit he could there. Let's go ahead and get that battle. Oh, now's the time, everybody. I don't even think I need my teamwork diagram. I don't even think I need them. I'm just going to go here. What you want to do is you want to put all your rogues right up in the front on this one. Right here next to me. Put your rogues up front. You don't need to put them in the back, though. Yeah, if you're trying to go to the top side, I guess you can put it up back here. But if you put it right next to me, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a spell on your rogues that are going to make them run really, really fast. And they'll run down and they'll grab these chests and get you tons and tons of loot, hopefully. Hopefully they'll make it past the dragon in time to get some loot there, too. We'll see how it goes. Again, thank you to Mike and Guns for the follow. Let's get back to it. All right, you hear all that whirling because I'm in my main base here. We'll go ahead and get this. You're like, Kevin, why do you have such a small base? Well, typically, I work on my base sizes later. I just use this because it basically makes it where I don't have to run lines. It all connects to it, and it instantly gets its power. Once I run power to it, everything else will have power, which is great. All right, we got a bunch of carbon done there. Let's go ahead and get that going. Another round of that. And then over here, we'll get this going and fire that up again. So the next time we come in, that'll all be hopefully converted. And then we'll save again right over here. And we'll just go take a peek at what this looks like at nighttime. Let's go. It looks awesome, by the way. Isn't that amazing? It's just so phenomenally good. It really does give you that sense that you're off in some foreign planet and some other world traveling around, whatnot. It is really second to none now. No Man's Sky's come from a really rough start to just an absolute industry standard of an amazing, amazing game. I highly recommend it, especially if you've not played it in a while. You bought it at launch and you haven't played it, and all of these updates along the way. Now's a good time to fire it up, get a brand new playthrough going. I highly suggest it, and eventually at some point when I get into multiplayer, you're welcome to come join us for some multiplayer as well. But yeah, just absolutely beautiful. Oh, there goes that electric fish. He'll jump out of there again. Where'd he go? There he goes. Couple of them. Too cool. All right. Let's go ahead and switch over to some 76. Now, I'm actually... I got some things to press the buttons behind the scenes. You know what? I think I'm going to go into AFK highlight mode just so you guys can watch some highlights so you're not watching me just off the side of the screen while I'm setting that up. So I'm going to go into a temporary AFK mode while I set up some Fallout 76, and we'll get into that, and I'll be back in just a moment. Hey everybody, Kismet here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right in the center of the screen. Also, check me out live on twitch.tv/Kismet. I'll see you all next time.